content is slander.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
This is the time of the episode we would like to remind you to go to vote.org if you are a citizen of the United States and make sure you are registered to vote in your state. Right now, voter rolls are being purged across the country. It doesn't hurt to double check to make sure that you're registered to vote for this upcoming presidential election and every other race on the ballot.
Boom.
We are so proud of you.
Are you winning, son?
Mostrar tutto il mio cuore che è acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada.
Waiting.
Fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are gonna be okay.
Remember this is what happens when you choke, you understand?
Bombshell indictment. U.S. prosecutors allege a media company linked to conservative influencers who regularly reach millions, including Benny Johnson, was secretly funded by Russian state media employees.
And a little busy this week in the old news section of the internet.
I'd like to say a big thank you to the guys over at the Fandom Initiative.
All right, you assholes.
What up? What up? What up? What up, y'all? How y'all doing? All right. It's just me today. Just me. Hey, did you guys enjoy that awkward Trump thing? That's cool, right? Shit, I gotta bring on this guy.
Hello.
I'm dying out here, man.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Now we have a real speaker in the house.
Right.
Bob.
We got this reprehensible creature over here.
Listen, guys, don't worry. I'm going to save the show. I got this. Ready? Ready?
Yep, you always do.
All right.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking...
Oh, is that the Uncanny X-Men? Oh, I think that's the one where we'll...
Oh my God! I need you to shut up. I'm trying to read.
It looks like the one where Rogue is going to fight what's her name? Sarah Gaunt or whatever.
Sarah Connor.
Right? Yeah. Apparently, I don't know if it's Charles's ex or Charles's just fling, but yeah. I don't know her backstory, but it's kind of wild. I don't know.
Nobody does. I know that she's got fucking like supernatural Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh. She's creepy as fuck.
That's creepy as shit, man.
Now, Uncanny X-Men is quickly becoming one of my favorite books to pick up.
Dude, it's so good. Like, I mean, I knew just from the first issue that I was like, oh my God, Gail Simone's gonna hit this out of the park. Even if every other X-Men book going on is like so far a little bit not as rewarding as any of Krakoa was, this book, Uncanny X-Men, is fucking great.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about comics all day today because we got Turf Nation here who loves comic books and reads them all the time.
I'm a big fan, and I've read all of them.
Yes.
Name me any comic in the world right now.
Slapstick.
I've read it.
Wow, really?
Yeah. That's the one about basketball,
even people who know who Slapstick is haven't read that.
That's true. I tried reading a Slapstick comic and I did not finish it. It was fucking terrible.
I just remember picking one up and be like, what is this? And just leafing through and be like, oh, this looks awful.
DJ Eric DeBunks sends his regrets. He's not able to make it today. He's got family from hurricane country in town, and he's taking care of them, being a good family member and stuff. So that's good of him.
I mean, it was really cruel of the Democrats to make that hurricane to go through.
Right. Like, I mean, he's got to be, it's kind of messed up, man, really, when you think about it.
Big move.
When does Turf begin its Valiant Comics arc? I don't know, man. I've read through so many Valiant comics. Let me tell you this, Bob, of the old ways. I finally got to the guy that I've been avoiding in Valiant Comics. Because I didn't see anything appealing in him until I've read him pop up in several times in other titles. And that is Exo Manowar. I wasn't super hyped for Exo Manowar. I was just like, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem interesting to me. And then I would see him pop up in this book here and this book there, and he has some really good moments and stuff in those. And I'm like, I kind of get this guy now. And then I started reading Exo Manowar.
I remember right when I got Marvel Unlimited, and I was asking you, Dane, about recommendations, and then you're like, "Oh, you should read Valiant Comics." So I was like, "Oh,
I did. You hear that, Bob? About the old ways, right? Like I did say that. We were like, maybe just stick with a few basic things that you're familiar with to a degree. So have you read any more than the ones that you reported to us the last time?
Not last time. No, I have.
Dude,
these days, I'm reading. I'm more reading books because I look at too many screens, and I have comic books on my phone.
I mean, you're totally caught up with Absolute Power and Absolute Batman and DC all in, right?
Yeah, of course, on my Marvel Unlimited app.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I've read all the
Marvel Unlimited will have all of that.
I've read all the DC comics on there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I probably actually think I have read, every DC comic that's on Marvel Unlimited.
I do
Well,
want
I mean,
to.
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We,
as well.
we are going to be talking about in particular, a comic, today, as well as like just kind of broader the title. But like we're going to start with talking about this specific issue, number 5 of Ultimates, the new Ultimate series.
Yeah, we just started kicking around the algorithm, even though it was released last week.
Well, what's surprising to me is that, and you can tell these people don't read this comic, because if they knew anything about it, other than what the most obvious thing that they can now jump on and use to their algorithmic advantage, which is that, oh no, it's a queer Hawkeye or whatever. These Ultimates, which are, if anybody's not aware, in the Ultimate Universe, that's the Avengers. I actually have full faith that eventually in this run, this team of Ultimates will call themselves the Avengers, because I think that they actually do some pretty good Avengers.
I feel like that's what they're working towards.
Right.
Because it's a pretty base team so far.
It's a really fucking socially conscious, like completely unashamed to be socially conscious too. Like, I mean, like literal fucking SJW Avengers, man. But it's fucking awesome.
Guys, we're out here avenging people every single day. What should we call ourselves? The Ultimates.
The Ultimates, obviously.
Obviously, that's a good name.
Yeah. I mean, and really, why do they ever call themselves the Ultimates whenever it's like the universe that they're familiar with, now that I think about it, is the 616. So they know that there's a team of Avengers, which is what they kind of are. Like, yeah, we'll get into it. But like, that's part of it, is that because they're saying that Clint Barton's been replaced by this, indigenous queer Hawkeye character. And it's like, nah, not really. It's not what happened, as it often is not what happens.
Well, it's like this whole replaced. Isn't that like doesn't that shit happen in comics? Like new.
Well, I mean, full-fledged replacement, not really, but like there'll be new incarnations of characters for sure.
Yeah,
actual replacements are very
Bob,
rare.
You are crapping out, man. Is that my internet that's crapping out?
Or crap out?
I didn't hear him crap out.
Oh, am I not crapping out? Is it you, Dane?
Who's crapping?
Who's crapping? You're crapping.
Okay.
No, yeah, like this is what I was thinking about. Like, legacy character in a.
Wait, I thought we were crapping.
Oh.
So we got shit to do.
This makes me want to crap. Did they play Hallelujah for this?
Oh yeah, baby. They played it. They played fucking November Rain.
He just stood there. I love how he can't even keep it going for a little bit.
He just squeezed her titty, didn't he? I think he did.
Did he?
I think he just squeezed that chick's titty. Anyway,
was that the one woman who was next to him, Loomer, or was that somebody else?
Loomer, isn't that his fling?
That's the theory, man.
That's the theory, yeah.
So pissed. Yes, that is exact. So I actually forgot that they had even addressed what the deal was with Clint. So whenever Eric DeBunks did a video on this the other day, and I was actually telling him, I was like, wait a second, I don't know if this might actually be the rare case when they did kind of technically replace Clint Barton, but that's not what happened, because I forgot. It showed earlier in the series whenever it was, you know what, we'll have to give the full context for everybody to understand what's going on. All right, so in this Ultimate Universe, this is the second Ultimate Universe. It's a universe which was begun by the maker, who is the from the first Ultimate Universe, but he was the original, or he was Reed Richards in that universe, who became a bad guy, the worst guy. He escaped his universe before it was destroyed. Him and Miles Morales are basically the only two who escaped that universe originally, into the 616. But more recently, he decided, you know what? I want to go make my own universe again. And he goes to a different timeline where he goes back in time, and he just goes around systematically preventing superheroes from happening. As in, like, he goes to Peter Parker at the science fair, and he stops the spider from biting him, and so on and so forth.
What is he? Some kind of villain?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess so.
Yeah. So that then you fast forward some years, and the makers had the chance to reshape the world in his image. He's got like a whole shadow council of figures who run the world secretly while they while everybody thinks they have democracy and stuff like that, to a degree.
Who
but
runs
we don't
the
have
world?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But what happened was Tony Stark's dad, who in this universe they have a good relationship, and his dad is kind of Iron Man. Tony Stark is just a teenager. His dad figures out what's going on, or he's invited into this Shadow Council thing. He doesn't like it. He's not a fan. Thinks it's kind of fucked up, because it is kind of fucked up, the way they do things. And nonetheless, the Maker ends up having there's been brawl in the Maker's dome thing, which kind of is time lapsed, and it's a whole thing, man. But point being, Iron Lad, which is Tony Stark, he decides to take up the mantle of Iron Lad after his dad is trapped in this dome for 18 months with the Maker. And what he does is he's like, he has access to this information where he now knows that they are of this universe that should be this different way. This universe shouldn't be this way. It's fucked up and wrong. It should be that there's a Spider-Man. It should be that there's an Avengers. And so what he does is he goes about systematically trying to undo, he's not going to go back and do it in the past, but he's like, goes to Peter Parker. This is why Ultimate Spider-Man now is an adult man with fucking family. He's married.
He's like in his mid-30s. Yeah.
Because Iron Lad goes to him and he's like, look, man, this is who you're supposed to be. And he gives him the choice, which is an interesting wrinkle in this version of Spider-Man, is he has the choice to whether or not to do this. And he chooses to.
Yeah.
And it's pretty neat. Nonetheless, so some characters are more or less the same. Like they ended up going and finding Steve Rogers, who was still frozen in the ice because the Maker didn't start changing things until 1963. So for that, Captain America stuck in the ice, same as usual. Iron Lad gets him out of there. And then Thor is mostly the same, except the politics of Asgard are a little bit different.
He's a little bit more intense, but
a little bit more intense. He's also not he's not in good favor with Asgard at all. He's been locked up in prison for quite some time, and Sif is more or less the golden child in that universe. Who she also comes along to become one of the Ultimates. And nonetheless, they've been spending all this time trying to find all the different versions of the characters so they can, basically form up a team so they can fight the Maker whenever that dome, which is time locked, when it opens up in X amount of months, they're going to fight him, presumably. Clint Barton rejected the offer. I don't think it says why really, but it says that he literally threw the arrows, bows and arrows and shit in the trash, the costume. And that's when Charlie, what's Charlie's last name?
Is it Ramses?
I think it is Ramsey. We can look at the damn pictures. I got the pictures.
Charlie.
But and every single issue has been fucking tight, man. I'm reading around on the internet where there's a lot of people considering this the best thing that Marvel has published in a decade. I don't know that I can argue that.
It's really good. I'm behind on Black Panther. X-Men's interesting what Peach Momoko is doing, but the Ultimates run and Ultimate Spider-Man are pretty fire.
Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man was the best one in my mind, and it's still really good. It hasn't dropped in quality, but Ultimates is so fucking packed full of awesomeness every single issue that I'm just like, how are we only on number 5 right now? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It is so fucking good. And I can give you a display of why that is, because honestly, it's just, I don't know. Denise Camp is the writer. I forget who the artist has been. Shame on me. Anybody that knows that?
Ethan Van Sciver.
Yeah, it's been Ethan Van Sciver this whole time.
That'd be hilarious, honestly. Where is it? Juan Frigoreri.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, for instance, as far as the whole SJW Avengers angle, and I don't mean that a derogatory way at all, is whenever they went to go investigate the Gamma Island where Dr. Banner, because Banner did become the Hulk in this universe. However, things are pretty different with him because he is one of the main guys that's kind of on the Shadow Council kind of thing, working for the Maker. Seems to be a straight up villain. He has mastered his anger using, I guess, kind of Eastern mysticism type shit. He seems to be kind of close in league with the immortal weapons relating to the Iron Fist and stuff like that. and he's a pretty sinister guy, it seems like, because he's done a lot of experiments on these islands with gamma radiation, which have really fucked up a lot of people, and made a bunch of Hulks. And I think we talked about this whenever this issue came out, because it made it seem like, oh, we're going to the island of the Hulks and we're going to meet all these cool Hulks and shit. And it was not that. It was like relating to actual radiation damage that has happened to people in the past whenever we tested.
Yeah, there's like one woman who essentially is kind of more your traditional Hulk, and that's She-Hulk. And a lot of the other people are just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, a lot of fucked up folks. And there's like this one person that's just a nervous system with some eyes.
Yeah,
you know, just floating around there, and it's like that's got to be
living the life.
It's pretty
living
painful.
Alive.
So this is Charlie Ramsey.
Oh, there you go.
You know,
Nice.
pretty cool looking design, actually.
Yeah. I'd seen this like going around a bit. I just had no clue. What it was from.
So when this issue opens up, you got little Tony, teenage Tony. He's fucking bummed out.
Iron Lad.
And he is being a little lad in this one too, because he's like, Steve, I fucked up. You know, it's like
that voice too. You can really hear that voice being challenged. Steve,
Steve, can you save me? Can you fix it?
I stubbed my toe.
Number 4 was interesting. It was also that was the Reed Richards one, right? Because that was
yes, that was the Dr. Doom one. That was hardcore. Seeing what happened to the Fantastic Four in this universe.
I like when he's like, sometimes I go into this really dark place in my mind where I can't see anything positive. I call it my negative zone.
Yeah, it's like Jesus.
Hell yeah,
fucking comic books, man. So yeah, he's sitting here watching on the news where there's this some shit going down. Somebody is causing a stink over at this Roxxon factory, and it's somebody using arrows and shit like that. And Tony's pretty sure that it's whoever must have picked up the stuff after Clint Barton threw them away. Clint Barton did not want them. You know, if we kind of extrapolate what we know of Clint Barton in a lot of different versions, he's got a family. So maybe he already had a family and he just made the opposite choice from Spider-Man and said, you know what, I'm not doing that shit. That seems crazy.
Well, I mean, we also don't know 100% what the Maker did to him. The Maker might have done something to really make him not want to be the superhero.
Very true.
Because, I mean, let's face it, the supervillain Reed Richards would probably not half-ass stuff, and he worked hard to make this universe.
So he's like, look, Steve, I took a shot. The man who was supposed to be the hero Hawkeye rejected our offer, threw it in a trash can, you mean? And a random passerby picked it up. He's like, and then this is where I'm like, they're not reading it, because this right here, they should be all over this, man. He straight up says that's a good thing, dude. Citizens taking up arms against the council is fucking, against the government, essentially. They're encouraging domestic acts of violence by civilians and stuff. He's like, that's cool shit. This version of Steve.
Hell yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much seeing this classic Captain America. I'm loving it in this.
Well, I mean, I saw somebody say that he's basically Nomad in this, in his Nomad kind of thing, where he's like, but he's actually fighting for an America that doesn't exist anymore. But even and it never really did. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of what part of this issue is about, is confronting some of the stuff that that Charlie has to say to him, which is quite a bit, and it's all valid. So, he's like, I'll save your ass, you dumb little bitch. He doesn't say that. This Steve is not edgy at all.
No, he's just kind of based.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome, really. So he's like, yeah, I'll go deal with it. I'll take care of it, sure. Iron Lad, he's like, I took my shot, Steve, and I missed.
So sad, it did work.
A diabolical genius known as the Maker used time travel to create this ideal Earth by systematically preventing anyone from ever becoming a superhero and establishing a secret council of supervillains, the Maker's Council, that rules the world from the shadows. But now the Maker is gone, locked away for the next 14 months by inventor Howard Stark. Howard's teenage son, Tony, has taken on the codename Iron Lad and begun recruiting a network of heroes to fight back against the Maker's Council and prepare for the Maker's return. Though some of Iron Lad's recruitment attempts failed, as would-be heroes rejected the secret identities and double lives that he offered, the ultimate resistance force grows. So yeah, then you get this is the bulk of the issue is just conversation between these two.
As they fight, as you do in comic books, essentially.
Charlie's a little bit, and by the way, the reason why, by the way, that it didn't come out, they didn't start covering it as like, oh, they're non-binary or whatever, till later is because it's not in the issue. It's nothing said about it. There's no pronouns used in reference to Charlie. There's nothing about that at all whatsoever. But what happened was the writer who, obviously did write it this way, felt it was important. It's important to some people to have representation. So after the issue had been out for a few days, and I guess enough people had bothered him about it, like, are they, whatever, he finally did a post on Twitter, said, yes, they are two-spirit. So that's why they finally started grifting on it. So which goes to show, man, that like it literally had no effect on them or the story or anything, and only until they actually
they didn't even realize.
Yeah,
they probably also do not read it.
Right, they don't read it.
Yeah,
I mean they should, man. If y'all chuds want to read some cool comics, man, this is a good one.
Maybe they wouldn't be angry about it if they actually read it and were like, "This is actually kind of cool."
The Ultimate Universe right now is pretty fire, and
so we're a mile and a half from the
see what happens with Absolute.
It's woke.
Absolute Universe is good.
It's woke.
And you got Charlie's like, oh, so there's a cowboy here, huh? Charlie Ramsey, you know why I'm here? You're one of those Ultimates, so I don't know, to blow up a school or something. No, I think we don't do that. Besides, blowing things up seems to be your thing.
Damn.
Point.
Burn. Would you like some
draw a cowboy? And he's like, I'm a captain, actually. Captain, and he's like, you're a cowboy, Gary Coopin looking motherfucker. And I'm the Indian. You know what that makes us? And he's like, sure, I get the reference. I know all about cowboys. My dad used to love those old movies. I've seen them all, and they were all the same. I love that it shows what arrows firing at him too.
Screamer arrow.
Yeah, it's
Sonic
like a
Screamer.
Iron Man made quiver that like automatically makes whatever arrow
ears bleeding. Yeah, as one thing Iron Lad said to him at the beginning was that somebody that's well trained could take on an army with these weapons. That does come into play at the end of the issue. But yeah, so then Charlie's like, but I loved them too. It's fucked up, but I love those movies. Secrets. Can't give away the secrets. So yeah, Captain's like, I didn't come here to fight you. Is asked, what do you know about this suit? What it stands for? Different things, I guess, for you and me. So what? You get to be a hero. Tony Stark gets to be a hero. The guy who threw all this stuff away, he gets to be a hero. But me, I don't meet the criteria. I fail a test or something. We always fail their test. The math never works out in our favor. So this is what I mean by like these are. It's written in such a way as to the characters are representing perspectives that are fucking completely valid, and also what chuds would consider SJW or woke, but like also it makes it fucking dense with I don't know what the right word is. Like the lore is both disconnected from real life, but also pretty connected to real life and how it's done. It's really brilliant. Yeah, I think that's might be where the first time they did that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know they leaned on it really heavily in the Fraction run, and it might have just been a thing that they established and said, well, that's too cool not to use anytime Hawkeye's around using arrows, right? The showing you what arrows he's firing.
Oh. I should go check out Fraction's run at some point.
Cluster bomb. And then he's talking about us. Do you know what Roxxon Energy Partners does? They do whatever they want. They flood the plains. They dig up our sacred ground. They foul the water. They build these refineries and pipelines like the Great Black Snake. Our stories said would end everything. And let's keep this in mind, the Great Black Snake, Bob, because I have a feeling that might be something that pops up. Some kind of version of that will show up in the finale of all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Possibly. I mean, they're setting up a lot of stuff in these books while also just telling good like character stories.
It's amazing how each story, each issue is fucking mostly self-contained and awesome. Like,
yes.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no reason why this doesn't make all the best sense that there is. Like it's fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's against this is just, they're probably voting for that guy that stood for 39 minutes awkwardly while a bunch of different music played last night. 39 minutes. Something wrong with that guy. I'm starting to think he shouldn't be president.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that, I will say, if that was the worst thing he'd ever done, then I won't.
Well, I mean, that's just. I think that goes to show his state. Like he's not.
Yeah, there's something up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like if he didn't have all the ideas and policies and stuff and other stuff, right? Like,
I mean, he has so many concepts.
Yeah. Of a plan.
Concepts of a plan, yeah.
Like if like Bob said, that was the worst thing he's done is just stand there and be like, okay, he's not fully there, but maybe he has a good team around him. But it's like on top of everything that Donald Trump is, it's just
when he is cognitively there, it might be worse.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. In fact, let's see. Take a little pause and do this. One of these guys. This one.
Be broken up. I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
The question is about Google, President Trump.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. I thought I found one where he was cognitively aware, and that wasn't it. Sorry, my bad. Back to the thing.
You know what? Anyone can make that mistake.
He's got this freaking inertia canceling arrow that just stops his shield. That's pretty awesome. Boop.
Very awesome.
And then he's kind of kicking his ass in these couple of pages. Cap's not, he's trying to say some stuff, and he's just like, I mean, they are kicking his ass. And then finally, Cap is just like, you know what, man, fuck all this stuff, because he just keeps coming. They just keep coming. Hunter killer arrow, holy shit! And he just grabs that one in midair, snaps it, and then gives me the old clunk in the head with the shield, and then Hawkeye's like, just like the movies, cowboy wins, Indian dies, everybody cheers. No one's dying, and that's not cheering. Get up and use those eyes. I must have. Damn, I skipped over a page.
No,
that's stupid. So basically, what it is there's like there's a small army of Roxxon goons that show up, and they're like, just gonna kick both of their asses and probably kill them, because in this America, corporations definitely have even more power than they do in our real world, and they probably could just get away with killing these people and nobody would even care.
Oh, easily.
Or at least nobody would be able to do anything. And yeah. Cap says to Charlie after that, he's like, or before they kick their asses, they're like, somebody told me once that, somebody well-trained could take out a small army with those weapons. So hope you've been practicing. And then it's a couple pages of them fighting real awesome. And then there's this, so team up. As all superhero comics do, whenever there's, two heroes that end up at odds, they end up teaming up. And he says, we should get out of here. More will be coming. What about our fight? Don't you want your arrows back? No, I was never going to take them back. I just wanted to be sure before I told Iron Lad. What are you going to tell him? That he didn't miss. And he says, hey, is your spirit name really Charlie Hawkeye? Say, you white people believe anything.
I love that.
That's great. Good stuff. Good stuff.
this does look pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd recommend checking out Ultimates.
This honestly reminds me a little bit of like, I don't know if you guys have heard about them, but the Avengers.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It is kind of similar now that you bring it up.
Oh, there's the pages that I got them out of order. My bad.
Oh, they're fighting together.
Yeah, they're fighting these goons together. It's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Legit awesome issue. Once again, I mean, I don't know how they made it so awesome. I get like the Avengers book, the Avengers proper has been pretty cool lately. There was, or the one that I guess it's the regular Avengers that's got Jed McKay on it. That's been really good, much better than his X-Men. But then now they've started Avengers Assemble, which is another title that takes place at the same time. I've only read the first issue of that. It was like, it's all right. It's just more traditional Avengers kind of stuff. But this is not that. Yeah, exactly. Not shitting on Cap. They make Cap look awesome. You know, he's representing what America should be, the ideals that it should hold itself to, which is what he's supposed to do.
What is he?
I mean,
some
honestly,
kind of
like,
Captain of America?
Most anything is going to be better than Isom. Like
these aren't even in the same fucking league. Like,
yeah, walk into a comic bookstore blindfolded and grab a random book, and statistically, like, it's got to be better than Isom. Like,
Anchorman, you're not the only one. I think I freaking love the character.
Oh yeah,
it makes a lot of
Flint
sense.
is a lot of fun, frankly. But like, yeah, they're just doing a different version here, and I enjoy.
So
it.
no, the A actually stands for something else in this one. No, it doesn't stand for France. But I get the reference, and I appreciate that. Right. So Chud's mad. Well, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. Chud's grifting.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't care.
I mean, I don't think they really cared until this crossed their radar. Denise Camp, the writer, there have been lots of questions about Charlie's gender, and I'm wary to talk about this stuff outside the book itself. It feels a bit like cheating, but I know it means a lot to people, so I wanted to make a comment. When I did my research into water protectors standing rock, something that was emphasized again and again was the importance of queer organizers to the movement. And I wanted to put that into the book. So yes, Charlie's pronouns are they, them. I didn't want to make a big deal of it because it's not in the book itself, and because I don't think Charlie would make a big deal out of it in that context. But we'll make this explicit when it's natural to the narrative. So yeah. He is two-spirit.
Two-spirit.
Cool.
What's that mean?
And just well, I mean, it's essentially it's the third gender recognized by lots of Native American tribes.
I first heard of it whenever I was watching the show Lovecraft Country, because there was a two-spirit character that showed up in that briefly, and I was it got me kind of like, oh, what? And I think I watched the Jesse Gender video on it back then.
But yeah, I mean, essentially, the writer is essentially, not wanting to make a big deal of it because, he doesn't feel like Charlie would make a big deal out of it. He's doing the exact thing Chud say that people should do, but yet they're still blowing up about it. Isn't that interesting?
It's not even in the actual book itself. It's
nope.
Like they could read this comic book and be completely ignorant to this stuff, right? And all they'd have to do to never have to at least for this issue is to just not follow him on Twitter. But
I mean, if he didn't post on Twitter, there's no way. Like this was posted on the 10th as well, and I didn't really see this getting traction until like I want to say maybe 2 days ago. So I think the Chuds took a couple days to realize, oh wait, he's saying something woke. We need to jump on that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. This isn't outrage. It's all fabricated as always.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's just,
and they're going for anything they can right now. I said earlier in the year, I've said, leading up to the election, they're going to be reaching for everything they possibly can, which is why they've had a lot of misses lately, I think.
Yeah.
As far as, just like what they're able to get traction on and how stupid the claims are and everything. They're just
like
throwing spaghetti at the wall.
like I feel like maybe it's also just because I haven't been that much on the internet recently, right? But I just feel like the bit that I am, I don't see their effect much. I don't see their narratives sticking very often.
Well, no,
You
this
know?
one actually has an effect because in this case anyway, and I'm sure there's other cases, but this one for sure, because I'm seeing, if you look around all over, you can look on Reddit and see where people are becoming aware of how fucking awesome this book is because of the Chud outrage, quote unquote outrage. So like that's why
Yeah.
I'm like legit in this case. Thanks, Melanie Mac. You're a fucking idiot, dude. Like I mean, if you actually believe like that what you're doing is supposed to be making this less likely to happen or less appealing or sell less or something, you're a fucking moron, and it's having the adverse effect. So thank you, because I want more comics like this.
Yeah, I could just see somebody being like, "Oh man, this is only issue 5. I'm gonna read all 5 and just talk about how woke and terrible it is, and just pick it up, read through all 5 issues, be like, oh, shit, that was fucking good."
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I feel like it just has been sticking with like like we have like Agatha all along. We had Rings of Power season 2. It really feels like they keep missing, or that people are just like grown tired of it. People like there's more of a sentiment to either just like not caring that much anymore.
Yeah,
or just realizing that sometimes it's actually pretty good, the stuff that they hate.
I was expecting them to really rag on Agatha all along as much as possible, but it seems like they gave up on that one early.
Apparently, it's a pretty good show. I have not watched it yet, but apparently it's pretty good. So
I've only seen the first 2. It was decent. It didn't blow my mind, but yeah. There's not a whole lot of straight white males in it. The prominent white male is not straight, and I know they tried to grift on that for a bit, but it's like it's a character that's never been straight. Like what would you expect?
I saw more actually kind of like outrage. I don't know if it's outrage or what you call it, but I saw some people that are actually of the LGBTQ community who were pissed off about this character, or at least the actor playing the character, which I saw some say might be some kind of internalized homophobia from certain gay folks, that they don't want. They think that it should be that Wiccan should not be like a. I don't know. It's not my fucking dog to fight, so I'm not going to get into it. But like it I don't know. It just, I see more of that than I have of Chuds, is what I'm saying. And I don't know if to say maybe some of that is actually kind of astroturfed and bullshit too, but maybe it's not. Nonetheless, it does seem like we're kind of still just in the middle of this whole. Let it linger.
What is this? Some kind of Chudpocalypse?
Hey, that's the line from Suicide Squad.
What did you guys think of my little dude, man? Like, hold on, let me grab my little dude up here again.
He's gonna show his little
Dane,
dude.
don't show your little dude. Don't do it. Don't be like Friday Night.
It's like every time I turn my back, he has his little dude out. It's like, oh god damn it!
You gotta see. You gotta see.
Guys, you guys want to see my little dude?
Where's he at? Where's he at? Give me that little dude.
Not again.
Put him right here on the screen.
I can't believe you got your own camera for it.
Damn. It's like a second camera for it.
This little guy right here.
A second POV.
Oh, this. Okay.
Oh.
Isn't he cute?
He's adorable.
Adorable.
What is he?
He's a Michael Myers. Obviously. Little Michael Chucky Myers.
Where do you got this from?
I don't know. He's fucking getting it, boy.
Okay. Yeah, he's getting it.
Stab, stab, stab. Stab, stab, stab. All right.
His ability to clone himself is impressive too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude rules, man. Little Killer Mikey.
I guess speaking of Michael Myers, do you guys want to know what, or maybe specifically the director of Michael Myers? Do you guys want to know what a cool anti-Trump movie is?
Yeah.
You might have it at home. It's called They Live, according to John Carpenter. So yeah, John Carpenter did an interview recently where he talks about They Live specifically, gets brought up, and how that movie is his commentary on Reagan-era politics and their policies, which, you know, isn't exactly veiled if you watch the movie. But essentially, it's brought up how, you know, how Trump fits right into that world. And John Carpenter essentially says, yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. There's so much of what we've turned into as a country that just makes me heartsick. The return of racism and xenophobia. Oh, God, that's awful, awful stuff. I grew up in the South. I know Jim Crow really well, and I knew that never ended. I know that no matter what law you passed, in the hearts of many Southerners, not all, but many, those sentiments remain.
That's true.
And now it's been brought back by Trump, I think, and it's horrible. The world is just horrible. So, hey, if you want to see a Trump movie, watch They Live, apparently.
I mean, I think that like the way he's phrasing it is like, I'm, you know, a little bit reductive to what the reality of it. Like, I don't think that Trump single-handedly brought this shit upon us. I just think that Trump is kind of like
symptom and an opportunist.
Yeah, he's like the I don't know, the lightning rod that like, you know, kind of just repowered up all these dormant fucking chuds that have been holding their tongues for a long time, and made them feel like you know, oh wait, we can say this stuff out loud now, you know.
Yeah, and I know there are people who are the MAGA crowd is trying to take ownership of They Live, but here's the filmmaker of They Live saying no, that's not what it's meant for.
Well, you've also got the filmmakers of The Matrix saying, actually, this is about, you know, trans allegory and blah, blah. And they're like, no, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Like, wait, about the movies we made?
Yeah. Really?
So I got right here where, so Young Turks, you know, say what you will about them. They definitely, Jink and Anna both just fucking suck really bad now. But, like, I guess they have some reporters that are doing some decent stuff. This is clips of the, I guess somebody just going around asking like, what does again mean in like Make America Great Again? You know, and I mean, I know this is an old tired thing ever since the original Trump run was like figuring out what do they mean by that. But it is still enlightening to get a read on what they think it means, you know.
Yeah, people have memories of goldfish.
So Make America Great Again, what does that mean to you?
The America I grew up with, we want it back. We want people to stop censoring us. We want them to stay away from our Second Amendment. We want freedom of religion. So if you're a conservative, if you're a Christian, if you're white, you're a male, it doesn't matter what color you are. We want people to be respected for who they are.
As long as you're conservative, Christian, white, and male, it doesn't matter what color you are.
Male, it doesn't matter what color you are. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, these people just their heads are full of like these vague fucking emotional concepts that like emotion-filled concepts that don't really have any tangible. And I don't know how to make these people realize it. You know?
Yeah.
Like you try to talk to somebody like this. It's, you know, at least my experience with somebody like my dad who does the same general vague bullshit, and I'm just like, Dad, what are you talking about? Like, and I think a lot of them tend to feel stupid and they get mad about that. And I think that's where part of the anger towards liberals comes from, is that like because they on some level they know they're not engaging with these things in a way that makes any sense to anybody else, but they feel like it's true. So they just, instead of like, you know, doing any kind of introspection and like, maybe I need to learn what I'm saying better, like learn these concepts and actually learn some shit. They just get angry and fucking, you know,
double down.
Yeah. In some cases become violent. We did a Fapcast on violence on Sunday and how, you know, it's worth repeating here. There's going to be violence, man. It doesn't matter who wins the election. There's going to be violence if they lose, for sure. And there's going to be violence if they win.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're going to feel emboldened, and that's the fucking situation that we're in. It sucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just, so like be careful when you go, to your polling places or whatnot. If you have to do that, ideally you can vote from home like I do. Like Oregon has done for 20 fucking years and has had some of the most secure elections ever. But if you got to go to a polling place, I'd say, especially if you live in some kind of contested area, you might want to gang up with some folks and go together. See if you can, safety numbers type thing, because there's bound to be some chuddery happening at the polling places.
It's weird. I'm in a fairly red area, but like it's like a blue spot in a red area because it's a college town, so it's usually pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah, what you said.
I asked if all conservatives are bad. How come they all ain't? I don't know what that means, man. What is that?
When did we say all conservatives are bad?
Well, I mean, I don't even know if that's what he's saying because it's
I don't get the question there.
I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that MAGA it's taken over most of the Republican Party, and obviously most conservatives would probably consider themselves MAGA, but it's not all. And MAGA is the issue. There are people who identify as conservative and identify as Republican who are not MAGA.
Yeah,
I would go so far as to say that like conservatism is the issue, because if conservatism has allowed MAGA to do this. Like conservatism was the fucking, the failing ideology that allowed MAGA to kind of like co-opt it and stick its fucking tendrils in and go, all right, we're conservatism now.
Yeah, I mean, like
you said it on the stream. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out now. He said me, so like I'm trying to understand. You said what? You said that you asked if all conservatives are bad, and you asked if how come they all ain't. Right? Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, like I guess conservatism in general is something that I disagree a lot with, and like because obviously it's not my political direction. I guess a big problem, especially in America right now, is that the conservatives in power are fucking lunatics. Like MAGA is the main branch of conservatism in America. It's what has power. It's with only two parties, the one being Democrats, the other being Republicans. It's like, and then the Republican Party being made up of mainly Trump supporters and people who are just fucking insane. The people who I guess you'd call like a more modest conservative or someone who's a bit more sane, gets lost in it. And obviously blame can also be put on the many people who are voting for Trump and voting for these people, right? And that is a problem, but it's also like some people just believe generally in conservative values, and when the party that's kind of in support of that is just really fucking extreme, it's kind of
if we're gonna be real about it, I don't think this is really about this is just happens to be the ideology that I think makes the most sense. I think that this comes from at the fucking ground level, foundational level of whether a person is someone who is the combination of several things. I think, like, are you someone who is self-aware? You're able to understand, your own, like your own thought processes and how that the things that you say and do affect other people. Do you understand systemic effects, or do you think things happen in isolation? Do you understand patterns, or do you think things happen in isolation? Like those kind of all stack up to decide to usually will be like someone's a conservative or a more liberal or progressive minded person if you are more. And so it has to do, I think, with how people are raised in like our emotional development as well as our education, these things that just kind of make up a person. And I don't think that conservatism being the one that's I do think that conservatism being the one that's so susceptible to conspiracy-minded bullshit and to hatred and violence, because say what you want about fucking Antifa or whatever, but you can look at the statistics. Conservatism, white nationalism has been the fucking, leading cause of domestic violence, terrorism in the last 20 years. and so like I think that one of these things obviously is objectively flawed and like should not be it shouldn't exist. You know, I'm not saying that conservatives need to not exist. I'm saying that we need to get to a point where we can find a way to get people to engage with ideas better and to fucking raise their kids better and you know, break cycles and shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like that long ago when, like, you know, anti-vax was like a fringe left conspiracy theory movement, and now it is completely taken over by conservatives and stuff like that. It just,
well, to be fair, they're also on
Mm.
in the Democrat minded people or have become anti-vax as well. Because that shit took hold in like the health nut wing of things as well. That's why, you know, RFK fits so well with Trump, is because they all have that shit in common.
I mean, that was my point. It was my point was it started out as a Democrat thing with the autism argument, and then conservatism.
I didn't mean to.
I mean, it still is in the Democrat thing, but like it's largely been taken over by conservatism at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. The conservatism in general is not. It's something I feel like it's kind of the goal to be moving away from. It's kind of like society. It is almost inevitable that society begins to move away from it. And obviously that's not the same as like you said, Dane, conservatives, you know. It's not like, oh, death to all conservatives. Of course not. I generally do believe that there's some people who are more conservative leaning who are voting Harris, you know, who are voting Democrats when Trump is the other person. Yeah, I
actually have a video about the clip we can check out about this. So let's do that because it is relevant.
I have friends who are more right leaning, you know, who I mean, and that's compared to Denmark. Obviously, they'd probably be seen as still so fucking socialists in America. I don't know. So like in Denmark, they basically are more conservative, you know, and it's like you still have a talk with them. They still fucking hate Trump, and I don't know. It's of course there are exceptions, but yeah.
Here's a county in Georgia where 90% of the votes historically go Republican. And you know, Georgia, and then like you see that like this old guy, you know, it becomes pretty clear like, oh, these are going to be some right wingers, right?
Well, I ain't gonna vote for a criminal. Well, what he did in January the 6th was enough. And the way he could have did something, man, you know, they was beating on them cops down there.
There's your other Democrat.
Hi, come join us.
She's a CNN reporter, and she wants some Democrats in Brandon County, and she can't find one. I told her I knew a couple. She said, please call, please, and she wouldn't quit.
Thank you.
I have voted Republican, you know. Yeah. I vote for the man. I don't vote for their party.
So what are your thoughts on the election?
What are my thoughts on what?
On the election.
Ain't much to think about it.
Well, who are you going to vote for?
The right person.
Well, who do you think the right person
It won't
is?
be Donald Trump.
Okay, tell me why.
Last time you saw him talking, did you watch his lips?
Uh-huh.
Were they moving?
Uh-huh.
He's lying.
All right, well, so Mr. Wilson here was telling us that January 6th was a big disqualifier for him.
It should have been.
How do you feel about that?
I feel about it like he's anti-American. He's trying to overthrow our government.
Damn.
Yeah.
Based old folks.
Based, yeah. And like, there's probably still many things that I disagree with these people on if we talked politics, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I feel like
I've
people,
seen it.
but like conservatives like this, or I guess Republicans or more right-leaning people, I feel like they kind of get overshadowed by their own party, by the more fucking crazy ones.
Well, I mean, I've seen several examples of people who are two-time Trump voters. After January 6th, they essentially say never again. That, you know, they just viewed that as unacceptable, and I get it, because January 6th was insane. It's like, dude, you got to take an L sometimes. He still has not conceded that election.
No, he hasn't actually.
He's a child.
You want to see
Vance
some
also
crazy
still has
shit, man? Check this out. Where's it at? Sorry, trying to find this damn clip that Well, first of all, there's this. Let's look at this one.
Did more for the black community than anybody, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln, whether you like it or not. People say, "Oh, that's
you really you believe you did more than Lyndon Johnson, who passed the Civil Rights Act?"
I think I did, yeah.
How?
Because I got criminal justice reform done. I got prison
Jonathan
reform.
Swan's
I've
face is
done
fucking
things.
iconic, man.
I love it. I love this
He passed
interview.
the Civil Rights Act.
How has it worked out? If you take a look at what Lyndon Johnson did,
You think the Civil Rights Act was a mistake?
How has it worked out? Because frankly, it took a long time. But for African Americans,
But you think that was a
my
mistake?
administration, Jonathan.
Jesus. Yeah, Jonathan Swan's just like, are you broken?
Completely
What?
deranged. But then I had a one where I don't know if I still have it, but like Vance was being asked on a news show, like, if he acknowledges that. Oh, here it is. Here we go.
I want to end with this. In interview after interview, question after question, and in the debate, you refuse to say that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. So I'm just going to assume that if I ask you 50 times whether he lost the election, you would not acknowledge that he did. Is that correct?
Martha, you asked this question. I've been asked this question 10 times in the past couple of weeks. Of course, Donald Trump and I believe there were problems in 2020. You haven't asked about inflation.
No, I'm sorry. Let's stick to this. I know.
American people want us to talk about how to make their lives better. They don't want us to.
Why won't you say that?
Because, Martha, I believe that in 2020, when big tech firms were censoring American citizens, that created very serious problems. And by the way,
Yeah, I just want to answer for him real fast. He can't acknowledge that Donald Trump lost because Donald Trump is a giant fucking man baby who will throw a fit if you acknowledge reality.
way, Martha, you're a journalist. You represent the American media. Look at the polling.
I think there's more to it because I think, yes, that's true. But also because we know that they're going to be counting on trying to win that, in rigged ways this time as well. They need that lore behind them that of like, well, they've already fucking taken it from us once, so like that this time they'll be like, oh, they're trying to take it from us again. Right. Like, so if they acknowledge, that the last election was actually just a normal election, he lost really badly. So it's like, it's both about Trump's ego and strategy, I think. You know what I mean?
I think it's more just a strategy to soothe his ego.
Okay.
I mean, I see what you're saying because they've gone down this road too far. At least Trump has. So to back down at this point would be probably harm his campaign. But
also, so there was
it's
somebody
also
on
what
Twitter,
the fucking grown up would do.
Somebody on Twitter had a silly take about this and was like, "Oh, Harris going on Rogan. All this, the information that came out is basically that Harris is maybe considering appearing on Rogan's podcast. That's it. That's the only thing that was known." And then somebody said something like, this is the Democrats are basically just Republicans, and the Republicans are basically just Nazis, and they shouldn't be trying to appeal to right wingers. And it's like, I don't know how you got that from this when, like, you think about it, Joe Rogan adopts the fucking, mentality of whoever he's talking to, basically.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of times when he like goes against Matt Walsh, whenever Matt Walsh had a really egregious lie that he was telling us to his face.
Mm-hmm.
About the amount of what was
puberty blockers and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said there are millions of kids on puberty blockers or something like that, and it's like there's like 3,000 or something like that.
Yeah, 6,000 in the last several years or some shit like that. Yeah.
Wasn't there also like or I don't know if this was more recent or if like a year ago or something, but where he spoke back against Matt Walsh for his takes on gay marriage. And he just like he kept going, and Walsh was getting like flustered about it because he wasn't expecting to be called out for this, and he really didn't have much of a say. So it's like, yeah, sometimes there is a little bit of a spine with Joe Rogan, and
it's not even that he's a right winger as much as he's just really soft against really fucking far right figures and ideas, and then he also goes really hard against like Democrats and liberals and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
He adopts
thing,
their ideas.
rewind the clock 5 years, and Joe Rogan is seen as more of just like a centrist figure, maybe even a little left leaning. He has the biggest podcast in the world. I don't know if that's true anymore because I'm sure it's taken a hit because he's been pretty right wing, especially after the Spotify deal.
Babcast's been doing some pretty good numbers lately, man. So
Hey, cut into the Joe Rogan's numbers. There you go.
I still think he's up there as
probably,
if not the
I'm
biggest.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he's massive.
But yeah, I mean, I think that her going on Joe Rogan would be a good move. He's already basically said things. He's already said positive things about her, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if y'all saw those clips a while back, but he was saying that, like, basically that she's a good choice or some shit, that I don't remember exactly what it was, but he's not like anti Harris like he was anti-Hillary, Joe Rogan. I mean, so like it honestly would probably be a good idea. And she doesn't have to change what she's saying, adopt any right-wing fucking rhetoric to like, and nonetheless to say that the Democrats are essentially Republicans is just stupid. And I used to kind of think similarly, and maybe at a certain point there, you could definitely say they're more centrist than they should be. That's true. You could say they play it safe and they appeal to Republicans when they shouldn't have to, probably shouldn't a lot of times, to try and kind of like, win over bipartisanship support with things. That's all true, varying degrees, but like just say they're basically Republicans is nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, because it's also because there is a big range of different ideologies within the Democratic Party because it's such a big fucking party, that there are people who are very like there is more difference between a more center Democrat and a center Republican than there is between a center Democrat and a much further left leaning Democrat, for example.
I mean,
like still they are Republicans.
Okay, look, I see. So how so? You mean socially? Do you mean economically? Is like comedian says here, how economically? I mean, ideally, I mean, I guess like on paper, conservatives should be economically conservative, right? Well, I mean, Democrats, it's not like they're doing a bunch of, putting out a lot of social programs and stuff, but they do fight to maintain the ones that exist. And they, I just don't see it as being.
Well, I mean, it breaks down fairly simple for me. Yes, Democrats aren't nearly as progressive as I would like in general.
Right.
They're not. But right now we have two parties. One who has a plan to get rid of democracy and one that plans to keep democracy.
And that's the only plan they got, man. That's the only fucking plan they have.
It makes it pretty clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's is all kind of it doesn't matter anyway, like whether or not we decide we're going to call them this or that or whatever. We have two choices. Unless you want to vote for Jill Stein, who, by the way, maybe you do because she just got a really exciting endorsement.
Actually,
David
didn't
Duke.
she drop out?
Oh, I saw that David Duke had endorsed her or something. So, cool, man. Good for her.
Damn. The thing
Did she
is,
drop out? She finally got embarrassed, or what?
Because I have been, like I was telling Dan before the show, like for example on Instagram, I follow a bunch of different political pages, and like especially it was a lot of leftist ones, and one in particular has recently been going very heavily against Harris, and obviously Trump, right? But like very against Harris, saying that if you vote for Harris, then you are a genocidal maniac, and that you need to vote third party, and like Jill Stein is the one, and then once you do that, then you can start, I don't know, spending the next 4 years campaigning and finding a better candidate, but it's just like that's not going to do anything. It's going to make things worse. Like there are two options. There is not a third option, and one of those two options is a lot worse. The other option is not great. It's actually very bad in many ways, but it's better.
So
that I will see is making sense, Bob, of the old ways.
Just to give a quick update, Jill Stein actually did not drop out, but her votes, she essentially dropped out in Ohio because she changed her VP pick too late, and her ballot will be disqualified in Ohio.
I'm sorry, Bob. I know you're looking forward to voting for her.
I was excited. I guess I'll vote for whoever the libertarian is.
Eric July.
Yay!
No, I mean, I'm aware of like, I'm not like a fucking idiot about like what left actually is. Okay, I'm just saying that like we have what we have as our left-ish fucking party, and we know we need to push them to be more progressive and more, more leftist than less capitalism, capital favor, and just but I mean, get into that.
If you want to help, if you want to push leftist policies and protest those, who do you think is more likely to listen to you? A Democrat or a Republican? I mean, come on,
because there's a difference between setting standards and wanting something, right, and like wanting more from your politicians and wanting them to be more leftist, right, and being better on a lot of issues because they're very bad on a lot of issues. Another thing is trying to paint Democrats as just more Republicans, because by doing that, you're kind of saying, well, they're the same thing, right? And it's like, even though the Democratic Party is not even close to perfect or even good in many ways, it is still a better world. Like, their world is still a better one to live in and fight for that better Democratic Party than the future that the Republicans want.
The only reason I drive a car on the road is because I don't have one that flies through the fucking air. Okay? Like, we make do with what we got. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, if you're taking the bus and you have a destination to go to, and the one that takes you straight there is broken down and it's not going, but you really need to get there, do you just decide to, you know what, I'm just going to take a bus that goes the opposite direction? Or are you going to take the one that gets you somewhat of the way there? Like, that's at least a start.
That's it. Politics are frustrating because they're not about let's vote for the thing that we want to happen, and that's the end result, and then we're done. We don't ever have to pay attention again. Unfortunately, that's not what it is, and it's not what it ever will be or should be.
No,
because and it does seem like some people, I'm not saying anybody here or anything, but in the chat, but like sometimes people want it to be that so badly that if it becomes anything they have to think about longer than 10 seconds, they just kind of want to blow it up or like not give a fuck or something like that, and just kind of write it off as being not worth it or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, man. We have to have there's a lot of people, we got to have ways that we can navigate society and make it work for the most people possible. Politics are it. If you think politics suck, I don't know, engage in politics, but and find ways to make them better, because that's literally, if you have a democracy, you have the ability, at least for now, we still have the ability to fucking say what we want about this shit. Project 2025 could make that not a thing. But
that's the thing. Politics are gonna be important. There will never be a situation where you vote for the perfect person and the whole world is fucking amazing. Like, that's not happening.
I think I left my video that I had planned to premiere. I think it's premiered like right now or some shit.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure. That's pretty stupid of me. What did I?
Oh, oops.
Brilliant.
But it is about this. Good. It's about Project 2025. It's really an appeal that Morgan and I made on the Fapcast after looking over what Project 2025 is about. Yeah, it's premiering right now. Holy shit. 7 people are watching that one. Let's see. How far are we into it? Yeah, you guys want to watch some of it? It's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
No. I mean, I think it is important. I honestly do. Like, it is important because I don't know, man. Is there anybody that's still just like on the fence whether they should vote or not? Does that even exist or what?
There definitely are. Like, I see people.
The mythic undecided voter.
Yeah, we were like 23 days out, right?
Obviously, it's like online, but I still see people like in comments and posts and stuff saying something similar. I was like, that's crazy to me. And it's like, I get it, right? It's like, voting for Harris is not going to fix, there are many problems that's not going to fix, And it's like, I know that a lot of people, they want to be good people. They want to actually make a difference. They don't want to vote for someone who's still going to cause some horrible shit. But you also need to be realistic about it. At the end of the day, if you choose not to vote and then you feel good about yourself, but you're not really doing anything, and it doesn't really have an effect. Like, it's just like that's all you've done. You've just made yourself feel better about your choice. You haven't actually done the thing that's better for people.
True.
True.
But yeah,
I just saw where apparently Donald Trump erupts after the Barstool Sports guy disagreed with him about something. I think about the alleged trans boxer situation.
Oh, Jesus.
Guy, I guess.
Wait, are we talking about the Olympics thing where it wasn't even a trans boxer?
Yeah,
Wasn't even...
yeah. I'm guessing so. I mean, I'm only basing this off of a quick glance at the thumbnail and the title of this video that came up an hour ago. But apparently, Trump called this dude a nasty guy for disagreeing with him.
For pointing out the boxer isn't trans.
Like, this motherfucker is so fucking unhinged and fucking sensitive, dude. Like, seriously, there is something absolutely wrong with this motherfucker. I'm tired of fucking pretending like that's even, like, he is more deranged and brain rotten than fucking Joe Biden ever has been.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
probably more than Joe Biden will be until the day that he dies. Like, that's how, the fact that he's able to fucking convince people that he's just like, I'm just playing it loose and I'm a cool guy or whatever. Like, you're a fucking idiot if you don't see how goddamn fucked this guy's brain is.
The main thing is purely just like I don't know exactly what part of like language this is called, right? But like there's one like he's able to like say a sentence, you know? Doesn't matter how fucking insane it is. And recently he started also fucking it up. But it's like he's still, I don't know. I guess some people think he's like, oh, he can still put a sentence together. Joe Biden can't do that, but if it's still fucking insane. And he's been doing this for fucking years. He called our prime minister a nasty woman because she didn't want to sell him Greenland, which we don't own. Like,
but that's stupid too, Blood Video, because like
he's weird.
Biden at least had people. Had people that would fucking help him out and shit. Trump is too fucking egotistical to let anybody rein him in. That makes him, because he's got the energy on top of being a fucking crazy person. That's more dangerous, man. Biden's wasn't gonna end up making some really stupid call without somebody catching him on it. He's got people around him and shit that are going to be like, you're sundowning, sir. You need to fucking take your medicine and go to bed. Whereas Trump is just like, whatever. Don't try and stop me. Don't tell me what I can't do. Like fucking John Locke or whatever. All right. Sorry.
It's crazy.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It
hit me that like, there's literally nothing that, never mind.
Yeah. But it's real though. Like I've said this whole time. It's like, or like since Biden was still in the running, he has people around him who will make up for his cognitive deficiencies.
I mean,
Trump is too egotistical for that.
One of the things that shocked me about Biden was just how largely his picks for like Supreme Court and his office picks and stuff like that, pretty fucking good. It kind of really surprised me for somebody who's been as kind of centrist and nowhere as Biden has been for most of his career.
Yeah.
Let's look at this real quick. Actually, got a few of these guys here.
Rule of law, they like certainty. The Chinese, who you mentioned, other dictators, they don't like it when things go wrong. They like it when things go wrong in America. If you look at the events of January the 6th, 2021, it showed to many people America's democracy was unruly and violent. Only 3 weeks to go to the election. Will you commit now to respecting and encouraging a peaceful transfer of power?
Well, you had a peaceful transfer of power.
You had a peaceful transfer of power. You had a peaceful... Come on, President Trump. You had a peaceful transfer of power compared with Venezuela, but it was by far the worst transfer of power for a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because this is what they like to do. This is what they like to do. It's very interesting.
The question, President Trump, is would you respect the decision?
When I found out about this interview,
it's also just such a like weird thing to do. He's already speaking about this guy and like it's like this is what they do. Like he's also not very confrontational, he's not there
it's
have a
narcissist
conversation.
brain. It's a
Yeah.
narcissist brain shit. It's like this
Look,
guy
this is what they say to me. This is what they do all the time.
And he's he's about to fucking tell him, like, when I looked into this, and that's when he does, he'll turn on the outlet that's interviewing him whenever they become slightly challenging to him.
Yeah.
Like
This interview, I did a little check. He's a man that has not been a big Trump fan over the years.
so like what's the implication there, that if they have not been a big Trump fan, then why did you choose to be interviewed by him then? Like, fucking moron.
Yeah. Just expecting to get on and just having sticks
he
up.
obviously, how dare you ask me tricky questions? And it's like, dude, you're the president of if you want to be a president of the United States, you should be asked tricky questions. And and maybe tricky is not the best word, but like just blunt
Challenge
questions.
him. He should be
Just-
challenged.
Yeah,
We should be
challenge
constantly
questions.
challenging.
Yeah.
Especially, if there's somebody that you voted for, you should be challenging them on what they're saying, what they're doing, and fucking making them, holding them to account. That's the thing. Is like we have this celebrity politics mentality. A lot of people, where it's like you're just kind of like voting for your team or team sports, and you don't want to challenge them too much because they're on your team or whatever. It's like, no, we need to be. We get Harris in there, then we push her on shit. You know what I mean? Like
I remember. God, it feels like forever ago at this point. 2008 election. It was an interview with Sarah Palin, and she was and essentially she talks about how she liked to read magazines. The reporter asked her, "Oh, what magazines do you like to read?" And she couldn't come up with anything. It was obviously just full of shit. And there was a contingent there screaming about, "Oh, well, that was a gotcha question," which is just like. But the fact is, Trump does that type of shit all the time now, and MAGA all the time now just screams, "Oh, gotcha!" every time. It's just something. Just blatant like that. You set that up. You should be able to answer. You should be able to address any sort of follow-up question. It's like, how are follow-up questions fucking gotchas? I mean,
well, I'll say this. Look, JD Vance is getting a lot of shit lately, and a lot of it, I mean, it's all deserved, really, but like, he does know how to
that's
answer
what
the
happens
question.
when you fuck a couch.
Check him out. He does know how to answer a question very directly, like this one right here.
Statistic. Our numbers good, their numbers bad. Well, I'm a real cum harvesting machine. I just like trying to squeeze out as much cum as possible. Basically, I'm a little guy.
Well, yeah, that's what he said after he saw the couch.
Sorry. I think everybody's seen that one by now. I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop dropping it.
He just
Wow.
I still remember that interview where they with Trump, where they start out by saying, "Okay, are you ready for some tough questions?" And he was like, "What do you mean by that?"
Oh God.
It's like, please don't.
Well, let's continue checking out some of this guy here.
We don't need to have stones of infinity stones because you're black, you're gay, you're trans. We just
this is meme brain. He's got a meme brain. Like, literally.
You're just trying to get the infinity stones. Oh, now I'm gay. Oh, actually today I want to be trans.
Listen, there's the infinity stones. There's reality. There's space. There's time. There's trans. There's black.
Oh, that's why Thanos lost, because he didn't actually get all of them.
Yeah. He was actually missing the lesbian and queer infinity stones.
Yeah. But just remember that as long as you're white, you can be any color you want.
Yes.
And it's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Just fucking meme brained, dude. It's crazy.
I want everybody to be treated equal.
It really does seem like it maybe is the main problem is like there's certain people that have just, once social media became a thing, Facebook, they just decided this is reality. That's all I need to know of reality. And then and then everything that I'm seeing on my wall here, that's it. I don't need to look outside of this or understand anybody outside of this. It's all right here.
And yeah, I mean, that seems to be largely like what MAGA is. It is meme brain, because it's all just this group of collected up online of people. I don't even know how else to explain it, but like just people who've collected up online and trading memes and yeah. In case you guys are wondering, yeah, the reason we're talking about MAGA because it's not unrelated to shit we usually talk about, because frankly, the Venn diagram of MAGA and Fandom Menace fans, pretty much a circle.
Yeah, I mean, there's you. If anybody fucking has any doubts about like why we talk about this anymore, come on, man. You talk about go look at Ethan Van Sciver, the shit he talks about. Go look at Jeremy Griggs. He's been spending a lot more time on his personal channel, which is directly linked to Geeks and Gamers, and that's and look at the shit they talk about on Friday Night Shite. Look at it's all fucking political stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's safe to say that it's obvious to everybody now that this shit is political, but I'm sure that there are people that will disagree with that. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's these meme brain individuals.
It's the meme brain.
And
folks.
they're trying to say that we're the party of the racist party, when they're the ones actually wanting Jim Crow rules back.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yes.
Can you cite an example? What are you talking about?
They call us racist, but I love all races as long as it's white.
This is the functional mechanism that has allowed them to become fucking fascist, racist pieces of shit without thinking that they are. Is that somehow they've managed to flip it and think that it's actually them, that they're doing that. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating to try to figure out how to get through that. Like, how do you get them to see that is a flawed, to say the least, state of mind? I don't know.
It's just like the contradiction.
Well, colleges, they want to have black and white graduations.
Do they?
They're wanting to separate us.
Where do they want that?
What colleges?
What?
Man, look. Okay, I don't know. Google it.
This is just fucking meme brain. You got that from a Facebook group, probably. Like it's bullshit.
The look on his face is like, I don't know which Google it, man.
I mean, he's just saying shit that I've never fucking heard of before. It's like, yeah, if that happens,
realize there's all
an
kinds
issue.
of shit
That
you can
doesn't
Google.
happen.
You think I can get away with that for my exam if my examiner is like, "Oh, what's your source for that argument you just made?" And I'm just like, "You can just Google it."
Just get real incredulous at him. He's like, "What do you mean? What my source? Just Google it, man."
Yeah, just look it up if you want to know. What the fuck, man? Get off my ass.
Do I look like Google?
And he's they might say stuff like that, but we know they don't Google because they don't even know what a fucking legacy character is.
No. No, they know what they come across in their fucking social media feed. That's it.
Great again. What does that mean to you? What's the again?
To me, the again means that we have somewhere safe where we can have those freedoms that we are so lucky to enjoy. There are so many people throughout the world that do not have what we have, and it is a blessing. That's why we have people that want to be here, and we will fully encompass all of that.
Yeah, she's fully been speaking in like the present tense, and that
so
goes strictly against what again means.
Continuation of what we already have. Like that's what it sounds like she's saying. Like, make America great again implies that America was great. It's no longer great. We're going to make it great again.
Exactly. I want to go back to yesterday when I ate a breakfast burrito. That was good.
Yeah.
I think she's the one that says, like, whenever he says, "Well, when exactly is that?" And her answer is like, "Okay, you're in a cult."
That greatness again.
When did we last have it, if it's again?
I feel like we did have that when President Trump was in office.
Yeah, I mean, America was great during the lockdown.
Things are so different now.
Yeah.
You guys don't know.
From whenever he was in office. Like, basically, the whole time he was in office, you could say the N-word all you wanted to, and nobody would ever complain. Nobody complained. Nobody would say anything about it. You could say all kinds of trans slurs and homophobic shit on the internet, and nobody ever got in trouble for it. And as soon as Joe Biden was sworn in, those terms of service kicked back in.
Yeah.
No,
it's frustrating.
They TOS'd real life. I can't believe it.
I mean, that's what they talk about. Like,
at least we still have freedom of speech on Twitter, except if you say cis or cisgender.
Yeah,
then you can't say that. Yeah.
Or if you're trying to share this, the fucking thing that about JD Vance or whatever is the Oppo research on him.
Ooh. Outside of that, freedom of speech on Twitter. You can say the N-word all you want on Twitter.
Look, man, these white hats, they got to get pretty dirty pretty easily, you know? That's why I wear a black hat.
What does it say? It says Trump.
That's why we wear black hats around here. This is for any QAnon people watching. We wear black hats. Y'all wear white hats. We wear black hats.
Captain?
What?
So, do these people work the polling places? What is this? I'm pretty sure
I
it says
don't
Trump
know.
caucus captain on their hat.
Yeah, it might just be some self-appointed little club bullshit that they've done that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Fapcast on Sunday. We're pulling the red tea lever, guys. It's about that time. We've been holding off on it on next Sunday's Fapcast. We're going to be looking into the folder called Pedocon Fact.
Ooh,
not theory, fact. We're gonna be checking out that whole fact of being a conservative. There's a lot of stuff going on around there. I don't know if you guys know that. There's
And real quick, while I'm thinking of it, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to all the channels currently streaming this. Yeah, I always try to
So,
remember
I have
saying
a-
that during streams, and I always forget.
we could take a little sidebar away from Trump for a moment and look at just a real Weasley piece of shit. That apparently this is worth watching and very cathartic. So Ted Cruz is actually being challenged a bit for his seat, and this was a debate, I guess, moment, something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about the guy that's challenging him, but being from Texas myself, I do hope they get
Just
that
not
fucking
being
guy
Ted Cruz is a huge improvement over Ted Cruz. I get. Jesus.
I don't know if he ate another booger in this debate or what happened. You remember when he ate that booger that time?
Oh God. He was hungry. What?
He thought he was gonna get away with eating a booger on fucking national TV, live TV, and nobody would notice, man.
Bro, get off his ass. No one comes at you for eating a snack.
Oh, that was really something. I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't, and it's not funny.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're a threat to democracy. Sure. I was on the House floor when we went through the votes. I remember when you objected to the results in Arizona. Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was, and I know where he was. I remember when they told us to reach under our seats for these gas masks. I didn't know we had, because they had deployed tear gas in the rotunda. The officers locked all the doors. We barred the doors the president walks through to deliver the State of the Union with furniture that we usually use to hold paper. And I texted my wife, Allie, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Cameron, and at home with our son, Jordan, who wasn't yet 2. Whatever happens, I love you. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't. This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins. If for the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority, because he's done it once, he'll do it again.
You listen. I understand why they'll bring up the Liz Cheney thing because it shows there are people even on the other side who are saying, oh my God, we can't vote for some of these people. But I'm sorry, I just have a little ugh, every time the name Cheney is mentioned. It's just like,
Look at the guy on the right here. Like, he looks like he's absolutely fucking stunned by what just happened here. Oh God, are you okay, Senator Cruz?
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. In case you're wondering, we just saw the crime of murder. He just destroyed Senator Cruz right there on live TV.
Yeah, that was a murder.
I we don't have the response, but I don't even know how he would respond. He's fucked.
I mean, he'd probably talk about some stepmother porn or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, remember that time I liked that porn video? That was great, right? I was sharing it with the American people.
Yeah. Yikes. So let's talk about anything else for a moment. There was some stuff that had happened on Twitter, believe it or not.
Stuff happens on Twitter?
Sometimes it's weird.
What the hell? I can't keep up.
So, Asmongold.
Oh God. That was a good reaction to that name.
Yeah.
Mr. D-Day Cobra.
Never apologize.
Yeah. Like it's just more examples of fans, hating politics in their media, but then of course being very political themselves, definitely having a bias, and it's just
So here's a post I thought was interesting from Alyssa Mercante. Got that Mercante sauce coming. For the last 2 years, this is a quote from Asmongold. I've slowly been devolving into the most mean-spirited, rude, nasty, callous, psychopathic version of myself. This is his latest video talking about his radicalization. This is what is happening to young men all over the internet. This is what many of us who write about video games and culture have noticed about him and others in this space. This is a pattern. This has happened before with men and the internet. It's not a coincidence. I genuinely hope that his fans and other people listening to the right-wing thought leaders in this space can take what he's saying to heart. Yeah, and then she asked for this, so, okay. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to like actually just suddenly decide to not be a fucking chud anymore.
No. If nothing else, it makes some money.
So while he was sorry about the particular incident in question, which is, by the way, what he did was, I believe, he called Palestinians. What do you say that they were? Does anybody know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I
He was
purposely
talking about,
don't follow Asmongold.
He was talking about Gaza, and I've only seen little bits and pieces of it. And I think he said that Palestinians are like basically dehumanized them, said some shitty racist things, and got banned from one of his accounts. Apparently, he's got several, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
but
I think it was basically saying it's like how like he'll never support the people of Gaza, and that they deserve what's coming to them because they themselves are horrible people.
Oh, so yeah, Daniel.
Oh God.
That he didn't realize he was repeating word for word the same argument Hitler made about the Jewish population.
Yeah.
What did you just go God about, Bob?
Oh, just what he said. It just.
Oh,
I just. Jesus Christ.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, never apologize. I mean, you really have to look at it. I mean, there's so many Palestinians have so many children human shields. In fact, all their children are human shields. That's why Netanyahu has to get the Israelis to just gun them all down, guys. How do people contort themselves to think this is okay? It's disgusting what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
In case anybody wants to get peckish in chat, yes, I condemn Hamas. Nobody supports Hamas. But you also have to look at the conditions that create Hamas.
Yep. And how, Israel is not just defending themselves. They're committing a genocide. And they're doing nothing to actually get rid of Hamas other than bomb hospitals and bomb any meat shield that Hamas is using.
I wish I knew, Reggie. I don't know who did this. I mean, whoever does the covers for Animorphs books, I guess, did this. I don't know. It's pretty iconic.
Looks about right.
Yeah, this is the guy that literally had
that just happened on stream. That's not drawing, guys.
No, this is a real life incident that happened.
It explains so much.
Yeah.
I never read any Animorphs,
No, I didn't either. It was popular when I was younger, though. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So that argument, that whole thing. Gotcha. Yeah, man. Somebody made a post about, somebody said, like, man, it's kind of crazy how the whole new atheist movement just kind of turned out to be an excuse for liberals to, like, continue to think of themselves as liberal-minded people while being fucking, Islamophobes. And it's like, that's not entirely true, but it's not entirely false either.
Yeah, I wish it was more false.
Yeah, there was a lot of that shit. As the closest I ever got to, like, becoming Islamophobic was that I was a big Hitchens fan. And, you know, the way Hitchens wrote about all religion was pretty fucking scathing, you know, like, but if you were completely foreign to Islam, like I am, reading the most harsh things out of their culture, that religion, some of their old practices and stuff can be more jarring than reading some of the harshest stuff out of Christian practices, even though they aren't necessarily objectively too different from each other. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
some barbaric, terrible shit, you know, that used to happen and still in some cases does happen in every religion, as far as, like, you know, traditional practices and stuff like that. But sorry,
shit, that was years ago. I remember that conversation. Ben Affleck was actually being pretty based in that moment, man.
Okay, what the fuck is this about? The guy's gone now. Just a pro tip to any mods that happen to be here. If someone is just, like, saying random shit repeatedly, go ahead and ban them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about that whole argument. And, like, and I didn't necessarily agree, but I kind of erred on the side of thinking that Bill Maher and was making sense there. And Sam Harris, when it was, you know, and now I'm like, God, I understand why Ben Affleck was so fucking upset.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
I just remember when I watched that first, I was like, man, at that time I wasn't completely against Bill Maher because I hadn't realized how completely
I actually was still a fan of his back then.
Yeah,
not too much longer after his movie that I used to like.
Yeah, Religulous.
Religulous, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I watched that clip and I'm like, geez, it seems like Ben Affleck's the one making the most sense out of these guys.
Well, he seemed like he was being emotional and reacting emotionally, and that, you know, to my, you know, logical boy brain back then, I was like, oh, well, he's clearly just upset. I don't know. Ceasefire now. Later, David.
Real quick, I'll go ahead and ask you: are you guys hearing an occasional banging come through my microphone?
No.
Okay.
Who are you banging?
I'm banging everybody. I'm banging your mom.
No.
Oh.
No.
I think they're working on the apartment downstairs.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I also do have to get out of here soon, but I did want to watch just a little bit more of these like the Again people. I'm so what?
So I have a thing here that I have not watched yet, but I've seen a lot of people praising this clip. It is old Jake Tapper. He's doing some tapping. I don't know. We can do that at some point. I also kind of want to maybe once we're done, I'll just play like the video that I uploaded earlier, that premiered earlier. Let that play as we are whenever we finish the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Sounds good.
Here, I just came across something on Twitter that I thought was hilarious. I'm going to share it real fast.
All right.
Why do you honestly think all white people are racist? And you can tell by name Ultra Maggie Kimma, Ultra MAGA Kimma, whatever.
Oh my God.
I want facts. Where was Barack Obama born, please? Kenya.
Huh.
Just yeah. You're making a good case that at least you're racist. I'm just saying. I just thought that was funny. I just stumbled into it. I was like, oh God, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh,
that's great.
So there's this. So this guy, you know, it said, I'm glad Hassan the Hun is sounding the alarm about the right wing's total dominance over the young male demo, which is kind of true. If you're a dude under 30, you see it in your groups, chats, social media feeds every day. And then this fucking guy, the left, quite literally hates young men. All masculine traits are evil. White men especially are the villain in every fictional or historical plot. Why would men seek refuge in the media that continues trying to convince them that they are evil?
I love your response to this, by the way.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah. Insecure, tiny dick, fragile ego take. It's travesty. The right-wing propaganda has convinced dudes that they're super masculine and everybody hates them when they're really throwing fits because nobody wants to coddle them and tell them they're special and can do slurs all day.
Yeah. You
I
nailed
just
it.
want to do some slurs. Why are
It's
people
like,
mean
look,
to
I
me?
can't say the T slur when I want
Tell
to.
me how cool I
Yeah.
am.
But, you know, that's free speech. Well, how's somebody taking away your free speech? They got mad at me. They said I shouldn't say that. It's like, okay, but how's somebody taking away your free speech?
Tell
I'm
you
an
how
emotional
to
fucking
say
piece
it,
of shit, and I'm just hyperbolically reacting to every goddamn thing that happens because I'm a fucking histrionic piece of shit.
That's the thing. If you really were the hyper masculine alpha male type that that they think they are, you wouldn't fucking care if someone gets mad at you for saying a slur. You just fucking do it.
Yeah, dude, fucking own that shit and just be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
said a slur. If you want to call it that, I call it English. And then you say it again, you know?
I mean, we see it all over and over again. I mean, these people talk about freedom of speech, but they're not talking about freedom of speech. They want freedom from consequences, which
that's what it is.
I'm sorry, that doesn't exist.
No,
that's like
You're allowed
how
to
that's
say
how
stuff, but
rapists
sometimes
think
there's
of things. I
consequences.
think. You know?
Yeah. Mm.
Like I want to be able to do this because I want to, and then not have anything negative happen to me after.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's a weak
I don't.
mindset.
Yeah, it is a fucking really pathetic state of mind, and it goes back to emotional development, I believe. And it. Otherwise, I just got to think that we just have a whole lot more sociopaths in society than we want to accept.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Anyways, I do have to get hopping now.
All right. Well, we're gonna say some slurs about you once you leave.
Oh, please do. I'm gonna get mad at you.
We're gonna
Wait,
use some
I
Denmark
didn't know we were
slurs.
going to say slurs about fucking turf. I would have gotten some ready.
No, well, I mean, you know what you call somebody from Denmark that's a slur.
Call him a Dane.
Oh,
Hey. The worst thing you can be in life is a Dane.
It really is. Just being a Dane is awful.
Yeah, it's very crappy. Anyways, have fun and remember that as long as you're white, it doesn't matter what color you are.
Yes.
As long as you're yes.
I can't get over that clip.
No, that's great.
It's wild.
Later, man.
Just be a white Christian and you can be whatever color or whatever religion you want.
And I won't judge you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Peace out. See you guys.
Later.
What they're producing now seems to have been created and conceived out of pure spite and hatred.
Why you gotta remind me that exists?
Krypto, thank you. Yeah, people are upset about Krypto the Superdog, man. What's going on?
Oh, I actually don't know anything about what's going on.
Let me show you. Let me show you. So, I guess it was revealed via poster, I suppose, that let me get that poster pulled up. It's actually awesome. This is good news, good things. That this Superman movie, written and directed by James Gunn, it's gonna feature quite prominently Krypto the Superdog, which, hey, that hasn't been done before. So,
yeah,
he's leaning on. So who cares? Are we doing fucking? They're race swapping dogs now. Is that what we're doing? Who will not talk? He will not talk. It's important. But okay, maybe you're kind of hesitant to be like, oh, wait a second, this might be kind of bad or something. That's weird. But listen to this fucking little anecdote from James Gunn about it and why he chose to do this. So, Krypto arrives on screen in Superman this summer. Krypto is inspired by our dog Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. it took a long time before he would even let us touch him. I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus, Krypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story as Ozu was changing my life. What better time to debut the not-so-good boy Krypto than adopt a shelter dog month? By the way, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy.
Aw.
And I mean, come on, man. Yeah, Krypto's never been the, exact same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, for a little bit more context, I want to remind you guys, one of the best characters from Guardians 3.
Yeah, so that's the
awesome.
take that I saw was like the stupid take was that somebody said the way this movie will pander to kids like the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise with cute CGI animals. Like, so somebody's mad that they're, and I'm quite sure that if you look, it's going to be a fucking Snyder Chud, but like, oh, they're pandering to kids. Yeah, man, Superman should pander to kids. Are you fucking stupid? Are you
Superman's not a children's franchise?
But also at the same time, like, is this what he means by this by fucking pandered with using cute animals? This shit?
Oh, dude, that was dark as fuck. There was not a dry eye in the theater during this stuff. Guardians.
This shit right here. Oh yeah, pandering, man. The cute animals.
Yeah. You're not even showing the scene where they just get fucking executed.
So cute. And this actually, some of the tamers, like they could have shown, like, whenever he first introduces those other animal characters that he meets, like fucking there's some upsetting stuff in there. Like, I wouldn't change the movie or anything. Like it's
no, it's a great movie, but
what it
yeah,
needs to be, but it's heavy.
By the way, it's a really woke movie too. So
it's so fucking sad until the end, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it pays off, man. I think that all of the sad stuff with Rocket really pays off. It's worth it. I mean, it's definitely what I would consider how I'm feeling whenever if I'm going to watch it again. I'd be like, do I think am I going to be able to enjoy this today? Happy Halloween.
Today we got like 2 weeks, but yes, happy Halloween.
It is an incredible movie. It's an incredible franchise. Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, I can't imagine. This Krypto thing has really helped me start to be able to imagine what this movie is going to be like. I'm sure I'm not really fully grasping it, and we won't know until we actually see it. But like, I've been trying this whole time to understand what a James Gunn Superman movie would be like, and I hadn't been able to really picture it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm still trying to piece. I mean, it's different than anything he's done before, that's for sure. But I mean, he's got the track record where it's like, give him a shot, even if coming out not everything looks amazing. Let's see what happens.
I mean,
I am concerned he's jamming too many characters into it, but
I don't know. I just
see what he does. Yeah, maybe he'll handle it.
I don't think that he has shown he's kind of adept at having a movie full of characters and it's giving them all kind of their due. So I don't. He's one of the only people that I wouldn't doubt with that.
Yeah, his track record. You know, even if he's doing stuff that makes me hesitate, his track record is like, well, let's let him cook.
Yeah, having a dog is woke now. That's true.
Yeah. Well, having a dog and caring about a dog are woke.
Yeah, I mean these people, like the people that would say that kind of thing. I haven't seen anybody say this is woke. Honestly, I've just seen that one post and then some other people complaining that like it's gonna be too cutesy or whatever. And it's like, man, just chill the fuck out. Superman should be wholesome.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that he has to be. I was willing to accept the take that Snyder presented in Man of Steel, as far as like a more kind of cynical, hesitant Superman. That's a valid.
Yeah, I have my issues with Man of Steel. So many. I've done so many videos, but for the most part, I was like, okay, I'm willing to let this pass and let's just see how he explores it. And then, Batman v Superman came out. I was like, oh, fuck no.
I don't.
Oh,
I think that he recognizes Superman is not the Suicide Squad, Bob.
yeah. Yeah, he already did that in the Suicide Squad. I don't think he'll play the same thing again for Superman Legacy.
How can you have issues with the Suicide Squad? It's a fantastic fucking movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, this Suicide Squad is great.
There was a dog, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, by the time this movie comes out, Man of Steel will not exist anymore.
That is true. That's why the Snyder fans are so upset. They're removing the Snyder stuff from history.
We did
people don't even remember them anymore.
I need to edit this down, maybe make a video out of it, probably whenever about the time when Superman comes out. But hold on a second.
Peacemaker was fantastic as well. I agree.
So we did a Fapcast episode about why do people want James Gunn to be fired from DC? And of course you look into it for 10 seconds and you realize, oh, it's just the Snyder Bros.
Yeah, it's all the Snyder fans.
So what we ended up doing was comparing by the numbers Snyder films versus James Gunn films. And who came out on top? Who do you think is objectively better? Not objectively, but like on every single fucking metric, absolutely.
Yeah.
That you look at, talking about ratings, talking about box office, talking about all of it. I mean, the only thing that James Gunn didn't. So like the Suicide Squad movie came out in 2020, came out during COVID.
Yeah. It came out 2021, but it was part of the. If you guys remember Max, the first year of Max, all the theater movies that were being released by Warner Brothers were premiered the same time on Max. So if you just have subscription to Max, you can see movies are just being released in the theater.
That was pretty cool.
Of course, that got into the box office. It was cool, but yeah, it gave
surprise. 2 years later, and Max is going away. HBO Max is disappearing or whatever. Like
it's not even HBO Max anymore. Well, David Zaslav is taking one of the most, because I was like, when HBO Max first came on the scene, it's like, oh, this actually seemed like a cool streaming service. This is awesome. Then fucking David Zaslav started taking over and doing more of his shit.
We did do a look at that, and I think we did that privately as a recording, right? Did we do that? We did.
I think so.
I need to upload that. My bad. We did.
I mean, there isn't a massive change. I mean, the changes that are taking place are changes that have been there for a little while. They're just making it more public.
It did seem like the change that they made recently, though, was going to cause some problems with review bombing, I think. As far as they won't be having an easy time doing it to movies anymore. They can still do shows. But yeah.
Yeah, essentially to be part of the audience score of a theater movie, you have to show essentially your ticket stub.
Well, I haven't heard of any review bombing lately, so I don't know if that's testament to that or not. But we shall see. What movies are coming up? We should probably prepare for the Chud Wars. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think they'll go after Smile 2.
Smile 2 apparently is getting like rave reviews and shit.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things about it, which is kind of exciting because I was a little bit concerned with. I mean, I've seen the first Smile. It's a decent movie, but I was concerned with Smile 2. Just like, don't just remake this first one. And with the reviews it's getting, it sounds like maybe they're doing something different with it.
Sound like it did something better than the first one. I don't know. But yeah, so Star Wars TV show, whenever that comes out, we'll be on the lookout for that, I'm sure. I have a question for you guys, for the audience or for you, Bob. And this is kind of going to be an ongoing question. If you want to think about it and come back later next show and talk about it. But do you think the election, let's say, Harris wins. Do you think that will have any effect on Shud content and the grift? And if so, what effect might that have? That's just curious.
I mean, no matter what, they're going to do outrage content.
Sure.
I'm not sure because they really if you look at the timeline, they really got their boost when Biden was in office.
Yeah, but that was because of COVID, I think.
Yeah, there's also COVID. Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I think that the reason I think it might be have an effect is because Trump losing again would be, I think, the end of MAGA as far as a viable political thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there'll still be people that will identify that shit, but
if Trump can't we'll have to see. If it's close, it might still be able to survive. But if Trump loses by a noteworthy amount, it means essentially the Republican Party has become this thing where you're going to have a candidate who's MAGA, who sails through the primary easily, and then cannot get elected in a general.
Yeah.
It means the Republican parties have to rethink what they're doing, which honestly, it needs
could just
to.
shut down.
They need to become a viable part. Yeah. Well, I want a two-party system, but when one party is just absolutely insane,
I think a second party could come out of the Democrats, right? And we'd have a much better, fucking two-party system. Honestly, you could have
liberals and progressive.
Liberals and progressives.
I mean, and there's lots of common ground those two groups could work with too.
And then if you're like, well, what about conservatives? Well, one of those would be the Conservative Party. It's just these are all in relation to each other that we call them these things. I don't know. Cap 4.
I mean, honestly, I would be down for a three-party system, but just not MAGA. I'm not down for MAGA. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have this video that I think is good to watch and listen to that Morgan and I did. We actually put a little bit of work into this one, and it came out pretty good as far as preparing. And we did it all live on the stream a while back. But so if you want to watch our coverage where we literally go through Project 2025 and what's in it and how, that kind of stuff, you can watch that for free on Patreon. If you follow me for free on Patreon, you can watch it there. I didn't want to upload that again because we've already kind of done that to a degree, but this is a different version of us talking about 2025. But what I did upload was after kind of the end of it, once we got through the text of the thing itself, we did an appeal. We kind of did this, I called it an appeal to empathy. And yeah, I feel like it's a really good conversation that we had. It was kind of somewhat planned-ish, but mostly off the cuff, and yet sounded like we really knew what we were doing. Proud of it. But let's see. What about you guys? Got anything else you want to cover?
No, I'm good.
Oh, dude, please highlight a comedian's first comment there. Don't worry about being shameless, dude. You need to come on and talk about that shit, man.
Oh, wait. Launching a Kickstarter. Yeah, for a fifth Jake's. Goddamn, please. Yes.
Yeah. Do it.
I need to give money to Dane, then I need to give money to that.
You need to give money to me?
Yeah. You got GoFundMe.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't have to. I thought you were talking about StreamYard or something.
No, I legally have to.
Okay. Good. Well, good. Where the hell is? Yeah, I do have a GoFundMe, by the way, guys. In case you're not aware, I'm very appreciative of what we've already gotten from it. Just in the first couple of days, we got a sixth of the way funded, which is way more than I expected, way faster, and it did kind of slow down after that. But that's partly, I think, because I felt bad continuing to promote it. I was like, holy shit, this was. Not as much as we were going to need eventually, but it's definitely more than I expected in a short amount of time. That GoFundMe, I'll pull the link up in just a second. I'm going to do this real quick, get this thing going. And And by the way, people have asked. My girlfriend Jen is doing pretty okay. Just adapting to recognizing that a heart is an organ that can have problems, and if it does, it goes bad. That's not a good thing.
That can be
You
scary.
live most of your life not thinking about what your heart's doing. It just does what it does, and then suddenly it's like, wait a second. Yeah.
And color me not shocked that Wes of thinking uncritically
What did he say?
had an issue of new Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He's a fucking piece of shit. Hawkeye is pretty good, just not as great as we expected. Who's we? Who are you talking about?
I mean, number one, we haven't seen that much of them yet, but I think they had a good introduction.
I thought Hawkeye was pretty badass.
Yeah.
For sure. Get this code here. All right, so I'm dropping in chat link for the GoFundMe, which is this one. Doing pretty damn all right on that so far. We appreciate it very much. It's going to allow us to allow her to take off work so that she can actually just kind of recover and heal and adapt. She's got a standing desk today because she's going to need to be like kind of standing and sitting and going back and forth throughout the day. But yeah. So thought it would be better based on what stuff we got before. What stuff? Why do you think it would be better? Why did you think it would be better? What's wrong with it?
I mean, I'm not the stuff we got before. Are you talking about the original Ultimates, or I'm not sure what you're comparing it to? Honestly, like I went into it with no expectations at all. I was just like, "Oh yeah, they're introducing Hawkeye. That makes sense." And
movies?
see what happens.
Well, I mean, we haven't had this character in the movies before, though. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, Absolute Batman. Did you read that yet?
Yes, I did.
What do you
I'll be, so yeah, I'm streaming tomorrow. I will be covering Ultimates 5. I will be covering Absolute Batman. I thought it was awesome.
I
I
did
thought
too.
it was a damn good start. I want to see what they do with the Absolute Universe, but it seems like DC's really taking a page from Marvel with their alternate universe. And if the other Ultimate books or the other Absolute books are like Absolute Batman, then I am excited.
It does seem like they are going to be, because the thing that I think they share is that and DC's being more on the surface about what it is they're changing, but like if you look at what the Avengers are, and then you look at what Batman is going to be and Superman stuff, it's like taking the superheroes that in their original universes are kind of just part of an institution of being superheroes, and they're just part of the like everybody more or less kind of sees them as the good guys, and like they're generally and basically these new Ultimate / Absolute versions are the ones that have to fight against the grain to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Does that make sense? And I think that's a pretty.
But we're seeing,
take to
we're
it.
also seeing, despite all the obstacles they have to overcome, they're still almost the same heroes, and it's like kind of cool.
I mean, man, like you're not revealing anything with this stuff. Like, what is it? What is the standard exactly? What is the standard? You're comparing one character that is brand new and has had one issue to a character in a movie in movies that's had several movies
series
and a TV series. And yeah, no, that's exactly what happened, comedian. That's exactly it. They just said you can't even mention Clint Barton's name anymore. I'm gonna get fucking arrested just for saying it just now. Anyway,
and then asking if I've read the old Ultimate. So I read, I actually read a whole bunch of the original Ultimate Spider-Man. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I know my kids liked. I read a lot of the Ultimate Spider-Man to them just because it's it's not a super accurate origin, but it's an origin that's a bit more accessible to them for the time period. I mean, you go back and read the 60s Stan Lee, it reads as 60s. So, and it's decent. It's not as good as the current Ultimate run, but like it's decent. And so because I like that Ultimate Spider-Man, I went and read a couple volumes of Ultimate X-Men. Did not like it. Could not get into it.
Mark
Not,
Millar's
that kind of
Ultimate
shocked
X-Men
me.
was pretty rough.
And then I just didn't expand past that. I've read a whole bunch of the old Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, that's
and
the problem. Sorry.
Even as much as I love the old Ultimate Spider-Man, I think this new one's better. I think it's awesome what they're doing.
I mean, the problem that the problem with the old Ultimate Universe was that it was done as a reaction to what people were not reading, saying that they weren't reading the regular comics for anymore, or were getting out of them, which was no entry point. Also, they wanted it to be more updated and stuff, and so this has that, but it has more because this has a definitive like kind of underdog element to it. Okay, no, what it is the fatal flaw with the original Ultimate Universe was the two architects of it couldn't be more different in how they approach superheroes. We're talking about Brian Michael Bendis and fucking Mark Millar. You got Brian Michael Bendis, who Ultimate Spider-Man was what it should be. It was an updated version of Spider-Man. It still had its optimism and its hope and all that stuff, being a little bit more gritty and grounded here and there. Whereas Mark Millar just said, no, the Avengers / Ultimates rather need to be cynical. This needs to be post 9/11 world where they're like a military kind of outfit, and they work for the government essentially, more or less. And that definitely read okay back then, and it's still, honestly, I do like his first two Ultimate stories. They're pretty good, with some quibbles here and there. But at the same time, it is very cynical compared to like what this shit is, which is just the most pure, like we're going to be heroes because the heroes need to exist kind of thing. We're going to be fucking superheroes.
I kind of like that, how there's this ticking clock about like recruiting these heroes. And I'm not gonna lie, like there's that one brief moment in Ultimate Spider-Man, like an issue or so ago, where essentially Iron Lad essentially said, yeah, so Spider-Man is like a key part of the Maker's plan. If Spider-Man isn't unmade, his whole plan falls apart. And I'm like, are they gonna expand on that? I'm kind of interested, like
They
how
have to,
exactly is the key?
Well, I mean, they have to, because
that's wild.
Hickman's writing Spider-Man, so of course there's gonna, he's definitely,
But like they're doing a great job building up this story, building up this ticking clock to when the Maker is released, but also doing just great character stuff, making you really invested in these characters and wanting to see them succeed.
Number one worst thing about fucking Ultimates is the rapey Hulk, man. Like he doesn't just get angry and rage, he gets horny too, and he's like basically just lusts after women. It's upsetting to read about.
Goddamn Mark Millar.
That's valid. I mean, Bendis had his time and place, man. Like you got to give Bendis credit for, like, the Avengers movies and stuff wouldn't be what they are without his takes. Him coming in and doing Avengers Disassembled and then moving on from there to New Avengers and all that stuff. I've got criticisms of it, but any of the writers that takes on multiple titles and is doing multiple titles for several years at a time is going to have some shit that's going to not be so great.
I think we see that right now with Jed McKay a bit. Because I think he's a good writer, but man, you can get mid Jed McKay books where it's like,
So Spider-Man is such a cornerstone because I think because of the fact that the responsibility aspect of it is just like the core of what makes a Marvel hero a Marvel hero. Spider-Man embodies all of it, right? He's not someone who was he was a kid, for one thing, and he learned an important lesson, and he used that lesson to motivate him to do the right thing from then on out. He's got he tries to do things with a sense of optimism, even though his own life is fucking shitty most of the time, and he still kind of tries to compartmentalize that and be quippy and fun and have fun doing Spider-Man shit. And he inspires people, I think, is one thing. Captain America is often, there's been moments, whether Ultimate or original, where Captain America is like impressed by him. It's just something about the inherent good nature of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, that is just what a Marvel superhero kind of is built on that, right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
Why does it affect the universe? Maybe because it's built on Spider-Man energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. The same way. We got Superman energy. Why not Spider-Man energy? Anyways. All right. I don't know. Should we check out this fucking Tapper thing or just watch our thing? Not Morgan.
I'm not picky. Let's pick something and go
All right.
for it.
The only way that you can really stop this kind of thing is to arouse public.
Let's see. So yeah, we covered the contents of 2025 on Patreon. Follow for free. Patreon.com/actual fandom. And then, yeah. This is not that. It's an appeal to reason and empathy, call to reject apathy and malice. It's a beacon firelit across the land, which calls all decent people to strike down forced adversity.
Children
Not the podcast.
is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs.
See, like, he's not even hiding this. Like, he's distancing himself from 2025, but then he's just straight up like, no, this is what I'm going to do.
Well,
so
this
there's
is one
not
of the
any
reasons-
doubt. There should be no doubt in your mind about what we would do with Project 2025 enacted, right?
Right. So I tried. I gave it the old college try to watch the Republican convention.
Oh, sorry.
And day one, it was like back to back speeches complaining about gender and DEI. And like, okay, I don't need to do this all week.
Guys, I don't know if y'all realize this. I know Morgan does, but this podcast was essentially created to stop this.
Right.
I mean, not to say we're going to do it on our own little podcast with 39,
To
40
inform people
concurrent
about
viewers. But yeah, to do whatever small part we can. I'm going to warn you one fucking time, man, to just stop trying to fucking say anything in relation to, like, maybe we're misunderstanding what Trump is saying there or something like that. I'm going to give you exactly one fucking warning, and this is it. Say no more about this subject. Oops.
And like, okay, I don't need to do this all week.
Guys, I don't know if y'all realize this. I know Morgan does, but this podcast was essentially created to stop this.
Right.
I mean, not to say we're going to do it on our own little podcast with 39,
To
40
inform people
concurrent
about
viewers. But yeah, to do whatever small part we can possibly do, because this is the epitome of forced adversity. What they're doing, it is that you couldn't have a document that spells out being adverse, forcing adversity to just like generally positive things, healthy things, productive things, progressive things, good things. That's what this fucking document is. And so that's why, we're going to have to be touching back on this stuff. Good, bitch. Go fuck yourself. Ban you again. I'll ban you as many fucking times as I have to throughout.
Well, and okay, so I want to touch back on the social conservative agenda, because I'm sure there are people listening who are like, Morgan, I get it, you're trans. But like, what does that have to do with me if I am a disabled person, if I am a person of color, if I'm an indigenous person? Well, I can't imagine that they're going to be very good for indigenous rights. I mean, they have already said in court opinions how they would also like to do things like repeal the law that protects access to birth control. The Republican Party has talked out of one side of the mouth that, we would never go after IVF. It's terrible what happened in Alabama. And then when it's brought to a vote, they vote against it.
Mm-hmm.
They have promoted getting rid of or bringing back anti-miscegenation laws, which, for those who don't know, is it used to be criminal for people to marry people who were of a different skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just bringing back eugenics, right? That's what this is. When they say promoting a conservative social agenda, it is a literal return to 19th century eugenics policies.
Because make no mistake, they're only advocating against what they know they can get away with because there's just enough support for it.
Right.
right now. So like they've managed to fucking, drum up a good amount of, and I mean good in the worst way possible.
Right.
A decent amount of sizable amount of anti-LGBTQ, primarily anti-trans and non-binary hate, but that does extend to just, gay people too.
Yeah.
They get away with that, and they also can get away with being against women's rights because there's enough people that are, but as soon as they are able to drum up, because you can see them doing it all the time on the internet. You see them, kind of like saying, just by saying that a black person is in a movie, that's woke. That's DEI. Right. That's what that is. That's them trying to force it back, push back the progress that has been made so that there'll be just enough people to go, actually, I kind of don't like that black people can marry white people. And then that's what they're going to go after that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fucking new proposal. And they will continue on because that's what fascism is.
Yeah.
Because
you will always need a new enemy. If J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk could get a magic wand and wish me away tomorrow, the right would have a new enemy the next day. There will always be another enemy for these people. They will always
there's
make
a poem about that. I don't remember how it goes, but
there's a poem about that. You should look it up.
I'll do that. Yeah, so I found that poem as Bob had quoted as well, but I wanted to give some more context to it as well. So the quote: "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist." I remember being younger and not understanding what the fuck that had to do with anything.
Right.
Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And this was by Martin Niemöller, German name.
Yeah.
And it's mistakenly often referred to as a poem. It's not a poem. It's just some shit he said.
Right.
And what context was this said? Well, after World War II, Niemöller openly spoke about his own early complicity in Nazism and his eventual change of heart. And he was complicit in this, just that he didn't act, he didn't say anything.
Right.
When he knew it was wrong. His powerful words about guilt and responsibility still resonate today. And these words, they've been a permanent part of the exhibition at the United States. Man, I just saw that. I really, really appreciate it. I wish you would have done that. Like, I mean, I know, a disability is not a lot to live on. I genuinely appreciate that. And I want anybody to realize that, like, if you feel like you want to help, and it's going to affect you in some negative way, please don't. Like, I don't want to take anything from anybody that needs it at all. Like, I mean, we're not going to starve or anything like that. We'll figure things out one way or another. But yeah, I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. It's Holocaust Memorial Museum since its opening in 1993. And there's a reason why that gets repeated. There's a reason why it's relevant. And the right is going to do a lot, like they always do, but they're definitely going to be doing it now. A lot of effort, a lot of fucking work, a lot of labor to try to convince you that you're being over dramatic. And this is, that's not what's, the project's not a big deal. It's just nothing. I've had people in chat already doing it Friday.
Yeah.
Do not fucking stand for that. If you've been paying attention to this stream, what we're saying is right there in the text of the thing. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go look yourself. You can go look at Read Project 2025 on the Heritage Foundation's website.
Yeah. And you can read the Republican platform. You can read the draft version that they released 2 weeks ago, and you can read the final version that came out. And you can see the language was modified, which is fascinating.
Did you notice anything? Was there anything kind of carried over, or was it all completely different, or what?
So the draft version is definitely more. When I read the draft version, it is more in line with the Project 2025 or the Agenda 47 language. They moderated some things, particularly on marriage and on abortion, but like they made it weaselly. So like so they changed the definition of marriage from, instead of being between the draft definition was, of course, the one man and one woman. And the final version is Republicans will promote a culture that values the sanctity of marriage. And I'm pulling that quote from the New York Times.
So even more vague. Jeez.
Right. is they're just trying to like, but we know what they mean, right? Like we know what the dog whistles are. And even then, like I didn't know this until I read the New York Times report on it. That a lot of these social conservatives within the Republican Party were upset that they were moderating their language because, you know, that's how they be.
Yeah. I think Lucifer shared an article earlier that I'll have to look up in the New York Times again. I think I've already read my free one for the month or whatever. So
yeah,
I'll have to sign into another browser.
Right. Just time for another incognito mode.
But yeah, we'll probably look into that. If it becomes relevant again. But I mean, it's relevant. It's going to stay relevant.
Yeah, it's not going.
Point being that, like, look, guys, I'm going to tell you all a secret about my channel. If it was just, and maybe this is kind of lame to admit or something, but like if it was just me wanting to talk about fandom, I don't know that I'd ever started this channel. That was not what motivated me. It's not the primary thing that motivated me. What motivated me was that I have kids and I don't fucking want to see them live in a world that looks like things are trying to go to, that certain people are trying to make it be. And then, in the interim, since I started my channel, I've made lots of amazing friends, met lots of people, heard lots of perspectives, and I've only empathized with those more than I ever did. And yeah, like, yes, we talk about fandom stuff generally, but that's almost entirely because it's directly an expression of the same shit, the same fucking forces that want to make this happen. I don't want to hide that. Hopefully anybody that thinks that's surprised by that, hopefully nobody is. Hopefully you all realize that I haven't been like the chuds I didn't want to be, where I'm like hiding what my underlying intentions are. I've tried to keep wearing them on my sleeve, but I'm genuinely terrified for this country and for marginalized people, for myself in some ways.
I am terrified for everyone that isn't a rich white oligarch.
Yeah.
Like here's the deal, right? Like I am even terrified. You played that clip of those neo-Nazis marching. I am terrified for them too.
Right.
Because they have been so misled by our system and failed by our system that is how they ended up. And without some major course correction, more people are going to end up like that. And those people are probably at some point in their life going to have to grapple with what they've done, with what they've committed their time and effort and brief time on this earth to. If this is bad for you, everything that's going on right now is bad for you. Everything the Republicans want in their platform, in Agenda 47 and Project 2025, it is to your detriment to support them.
I hesitate to like use terms like good versus evil and stuff like that, because it really is just like it's such loaded fucking concepts and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know that there is anything that, in my view, that could more practically be described as what's happening right now. The people that try to obfuscate and try to like both sides and stuff, the reason I get so fucking angry with those people, and the reason why I'm going to have zero tolerance for them, really, unless I feel like they're like actually open to learning in chat or something like that. If some of these people shows up and are just like, oh, it's both sides at this point, you get the fuck out of here, you're gone. Because we need all fucking hands on deck, because this is a concerted effort that's been pushed for decades. It's got corporate backing, corporate sponsorship. They've got their fucking claws into power, and it's gonna barely be by the fucking skin of our teeth if we avoid it in November. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna have to keep fighting after that too.
And then the work goes on.
And that fucking sucks, but
So I want to circle back around as we're talking about this.
Yeah.
To something we talked about earlier, which is the cutting of the veterans benefits. In the wake of World War I, one of the things that primed the pump for fascism in not just in Germany and not just in Italy, but also places like Spain and Japan, is that you had a generation of men trained for war, traumatized by war, and who returned home to nothing, whose country abandoned them. It's a breeding ground for this, and you can see it in our veteran population today. That the cutting of those benefits only feeds this cycle of violence in the most cynical way. And I know we don't want to frame it. We're adverse to framing it as good versus evil. But I think what it is it cynicism versus empathy.
Yes.
It is, am I so cynical that I am only about getting mine in the immediate second we're discussing, and I will trample over anyone I have to get it? Or will you stand by the person next to you, whoever the fuck they are, and go, no, we've got each other's back here and no further. I don't care if you're different from me. I don't care if you're from a different place or speak a different language. We all deserve to be here and to live our lives in peace and happiness. And I don't care if you're on the left, center, or right. That's all we want as working people. We're not these oligarchs. We're not these politicians. We're not these religious leaders. We need to come together under that banner of empathy, rather than the cynicism of getting yours from whichever powerful person will give you the scraps from their table.
Yeah. What's the question? Of course, just ordinary people. We're all just ordinary people. That's the thing. That's the really great lie of it all, is that like we're all just ordinary. Being different from each other is the ordinary thing. The lie is to think that because we have some distinctions about us that are generally a lot of superficial stuff, or just lifestyle that don't affect anything outside of the person living it. That's the fucking deception, is that somehow we need to be against one another. We need to see the other as the other.
Yeah.
And that it appeals to a very primitive, something that did benefit us whenever, in prehistoric times, so to speak. Like, we would see someone different than us, and the tribalist instinct would kick in, and that would protect us, because that's the kind of world it was then, right? Long ass time ago, was kill or be killed. We're not in that anymore. That's not what this is. It doesn't have to be that. It hasn't been that for a long time, and there are people that want it to be again.
And in a way it still is. It's just what the tribes are is obscured.
Yeah.
But
all the tribes are all intermixed. That's why we've got, people. We all know somebody that's queer. We all know somebody that's, a person of color or whatever. Like, it's all the tribes are have blended together, and that's what they don't want, right?
Well,
like,
and I also think it's important that often, especially like if you're a conservative person trapped in a conservative news bubble where people of color are vilified, where queer people are vilified, to have one in your life is often life-changing. Because now that goes from a thing that, like, especially if you're cordial to them, you don't have to be friends with them necessarily, but be decent people to each other. And that will build decency, that will get them away from this shit.
Because as like Philip says, YouTube's not the only place where it comes from, but it is a major one these days. But like, that's what that content exists for, is to stop people from seeing someone and empathizing with their suffering or their struggle or their trauma, because we all have those. We all have suffering, and we all have some degree of trauma. And if you empathize with it, oh man, that's a slippery slope to giving a fuck about other people, and they don't want that.
I also think that that's why it's important that, here on the Fapcast, that we do things like talk Star Wars and talk X-Men, because it's important to show that we're not one-sided people that just want to. We're not just lefties on the internet who want to talk about how Trump's bad. We are in a position where we feel we must, but that doesn't mean we can't celebrate the other things about us, even when we disagree. And you and I have disagreements on things, in terms of our entertainment choices sometimes. And it's good to have those conversations as friends and as fans beyond just the political aspect of it.
Yep. So it's literally show, what's it like to be in an actual fandom.
Right. Ha
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know that we can go out on much of a more somber, but also, well said. No.
Thank you.
But I think there is one way that we could end this that would be pretty damn good.
Right.
And because look, we put a lot of heavy stuff out there. Some of you may not, it may be you're just coming to terms with how severe this situation is. If you're not, I hope that you start to. But that doesn't mean you need to doom and gloom. It doesn't mean all hope is lost. And well, you may wonder, well, fuck, man, why does this have to happen? Why is this going on? Why right now? Right. And I think this clip I'm going to play on the way out the door, it says it, right? It says it all.
I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened.
So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. There are other forces at work in this world, Frodo, besides the will of evil. Bilbo was meant to find the ring, in which case you also were meant to have it. And that is an encouraging thought.
That's right. You were meant to find the ring, guys.
Listen, I was pretty silent because I didn't have too much to say. That GM Morgan person, they are based as fuck.
Yeah, I gotta figure out. I gotta make some money so I can pay them before somebody recognizes their value and actually pays them. Anyway,
money. What's this? I've not encountered this money thing.
Maybe we need to do that whole anti-woke thing.
Yeah.
This seems
Guys,
to be where money's at.
did you see? I watched an action movie and a woman beat up a man.
Oh no, they can't do that in real life.
No, they can't. Never in the history of human history.
I can't believe in that movie about people with superpowers that a woman beat a man. That's not realistic.
Like that Wonder Woman movie, she beat up a man.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you know what I'm getting tired of? You know how they got these they have these woke people in movies nowadays. You know what I mean by them? I'm talking about black people, but woke people.
Yeah, yeah. We've seen those woke people in Star Wars.
Are we doing it? Are we doing it, guys? You're doing pretty good. Will you pay us?
There's that Reva person. There's that Finn person. There's that Lando person. Oh wait, do people not talk about?
Well, you got to meet with Elijah Wood. That's fucking awesome, dude.
That is cool. He seems like
pat him on his little head and say, "Hey, little guy." Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 3 feet tall, right?
Yeah, he's a little bitty guy. You see this a lot. You see this a lot. They're trying to make it seem like the cool thing to not give a fuck. And I think most people on some level know that, even if they kind of agree with it outwardly, on some level they recognize that's not realistic or good or anything. But yeah, no, great job to you, audience. Great job to you.
Yes.
But
guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit up all the channels. Do the algorithm things.
We'll try and have more of a show next week. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's worth noting there wasn't a whole lot happening this week, and hopefully it continues to be that way. Maybe we just become a trivia show or something. Who knows?
Yeah, you know what I think we should do is probably get people's votes for videos and YouTubers and stuff, so we can do some awards.
Yeah, that could be fun.
So I think maybe we'll prep that for next week, to where we can get votes and just, I don't know, tally them up or something. Make it a viewer's choice kind of thing.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
In the meantime, if you let's see, where should they send us something recommendations? I don't know. I should have thought about this ahead of time. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll announce it on the next stream that I do, which would be probably Friday or Saturday.
And speaking of streams, I will be live tomorrow. I might push it back to 6:00 my time, Eastern Standard Time, because I am going to take my daughter costume shopping. I'm trying to get her Wednesday costume put together for this weekend for the Comic Expo.
Is she dressing in Star Trek or what? What's the deal?
No, she's doing Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Right on. Yeah, we're gonna do the Shillies, guys. We're gonna have the Shilly Awards. So think you get to thinking of your favorite Shilly videos and video makers, and we'll even maybe do some for Chuds.
Yeah, we could have Shillies and we could have Chuddies.
Maybe we'll even have like an award that's not even an ironic positive award for a Chud. We'll have to see.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll have to get creative on a category, but we can probably figure out something.
All right, guys. Hit like and subscribe to all these channels. And DJ Eric Bunks was, he'll be around. Just look for him.
I got an idea. Least bigoted Chud.
Least bigoted Chud. That would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, you're a little bit less bigoted than the other guys. Good job.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd say, I guess it'd be like, I don't know, what's his name? Tyrone Magnus might be one, because I've never seen him say anything explicitly bigoted.
Yeah, true. He does
says,
hang out in the community, though.
Yeah. All right.
He says dumb stuff for sure. But
certainly dumb. And by the way, hey, Ethan.
I just want my stupid comic book. He's not drawing the damn thing. He's instead live streaming every single day. He's debating nonsense people.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
I'm a little bit confused by chat. I usually stream on Thursdays. That is my usual day.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Is there a joke that's going over my head? Explain the joke.
Did you want to come on and talk about your comic on a Halloween or something, Dean? Is that the deal? You know what? We'll work this out in Discord instead of on stream, if that's the case. But
I will say I will not be streaming Halloween. I might do like a Tuesday stream that week.
I might
just to get me streaming.
Might fuck around and stream on Halloween. You guys are
I
lovely.
actually have my kids this Halloween, so that's not option.
Oh man, it's really cool of what's his name to.
Yeah.
You're all sexy, all of you. Bye.